All right, hello everybody. We're back alive again, finally. It's been a few days. Hello, hello. Hope everybody is doing well. Welcome on in, Dog Nozzle. How you doing today? Yes, we're back. We're back with more Roadwarden. The game that kind of hurts my voice after a little while, because there is a lot of reading. But I guess it would not be a stream if the streamer was not torturing themselves in some way for the possible entertainment of others. It's all good though. I am enjoying streaming this one. This game is pretty fun, and I have decided that we are going to, when we have like those options for our beginning dialogue, you know, whether we want to be witty or funny or intimidating, we are the stand-up comic of what the hell is the name of that city again? Havler, something like that. We are famed around those parts for our hilarious comedy, as hopefully we see some more of today. So yeah, we're back here. We're actually starting a little bit early. I still wanted it to be around the usual length of a stream, but we might end a little earlier than usual, assuming my voice holds out, mind you all. But I still want it to be around the same amount of time, also because, you know, I'm tired. I worked today, so I would like to get to, well, I say I would like to get to bed at a reasonable time. It's not going to be a reasonable time. It's still going to be degen hours time, but you know what I mean. I was catching up on the previous stream the other day, and the thing that really stood out is how bizarre this game's idea of jokes are. Yeah, it really I've mentioned it before, and I'll probably keep mentioning it, but it reminds me of the joke options that you have in the emails in Phantasmagoria 2, A Puzzle of Flesh, because they are so unfunny, but they were hilariously unfunny and nonsensical and stupid that I couldn't stop picking those options when we actually streamed those games many a moon ago. That was I think that was some of my first games, when I figured out, oh, I need fiber and they haven't put fiber in quite yet, and so I guess I'm going to limp with bad quality old games for a while until they finally finish installing fiber. But yeah, let's launch into this bad boy. I know we left off talking to the innkeeper woman at whatever lake, I can't remember the name of it. Something lake. We're having a drink with her. We're getting to know some things. I don't think I mentioned it last time, but I kind of wonder if the people here are legit or if this is some kind of trap. I don't know. It just seems like a weird place. They do sort of come off as anti-comedy, so strange that it wraps around back into funny. Yeah, it's great. I can't wait. I cannot wait to do more. Oh, let's see here. Okay, yeah, we were like right in the we ended up saving right in the middle of this conversation with this person. So I guess we'll just start from the top, Just completely out of context. Let's see. Once you burn enough dead friends and relatives, clean tables start to look plenty tempting. She leans forward and takes another look at her bottle, sealing it with an approving nod. My ma and pa were both big and strong. One time they saw me sitting on this kid twisting his arm, so they started to teach me. Staff duels, running, lifting barrels and Okay, I'm gonna stop there. So this is our third stream of Roadwarden. I don't think I mentioned it at all, but a weird thing I've noticed, and it started in the very first stream of this game. This they like lists. The writers of this like listing things. Staff duels, comma, running, comma, lifting barrels and rocks. There are so many of those lists in conversations with people. It's kind of wild, weird, I don't know. Thankfully, the army chieftain said I wasn't disciplined enough. She rubs the scar on her forehead. So I did a lot of things. Escorted some merchant, joined a group of adventurers, hunted for bounties, guarded a village temple, another list. The last memory makes her voice gloomy. Not all of these things make me proud of myself. She smells the mead in her cup but doesn't take a sip. I moved here only after I lost my arm. When the folks were fleeing the invasion, I took my Ilan, a casket of dragons, and joined a more organized group. Arm or not, I still have a fierce punch. She lets out a pleased grunt. I was worth keeping around. Her voice can't hide that she's delighted to carry on with her tale. Now that the years are catching... Oh, wait, no, this is a quote. Now that the years are catching up with me, and even more so with my back, I need to build myself a decent shelter. I crave no adventures, but I'm happy to hear stories from other restless souls. In the meantime, I'll practice this little trick. She points at the cauldron in the middle of the room and starts to make circles with her finger. The ladle mimics the movement, mixing the stew for another minute or two. That's also good for my back. Okay, we did read this at the end of last stream. I remember her doing the magic stirring. Ah, and Foggy Lake. Foggy Lake is the name of the place. That's right. Haha, multiple lists within the same paragraph. Yeah, oh my god. It's gonna be crazy by endgame. Just like a single sentence that is just this like long run-on freaking sentence of just lists for pages and pages. All right, let's see. Your name's Foggy, and this is Foggy Lake. Is the tavern named after you or after the lake? Well, we'll just go down the line. We'll start with that one. Ah, the lake has no name. She moves her cup away and leans forward, resting her elbow on the table. Her voice is playful, warm. Yet, I mean... But there will be stories about this place, believe me, and about passing by the lake a while getting to Foggy's. I may not be a dragon slayer or a holy woman, but one way or another, my soul will live on in my name, tied to these walls. She looks at you in silence, then bursts into laughter. You could swear she makes the jar shake. I'm plenty fine being vain. Let's see. We all want to be remembered, I think. Not everything that's vain is wrong. It's probably better to stay humble, or we just give her our good old non-committing smile. So does everybody in the world want to be remembered? Like me personally, I don't think I'd care. Like when I'm dead, I'm dead. right? Like, I I don't think I would really care if people remembered me, or if society or the world remembered me. All right, let's just give her our big comedian smile. After an awkward pause, Foggy smiles back at you. I nod towards the spot where her right arm should be. Any story there? She leans back, moving her shoulders and chest up and down as if she's having a soundless chuckle. Not one I'm going to share with a newcomer, dear. Stay alive until next autumn. I'll open up a cask of cold cider and tell you quite a tale. It has treason, treasure, monsters, and dark spells. But I'm way too sober for it now. She grabs her cup. Her wink turns into an awkward blink. Oh man, people who can't do a wink and it's just a weird blink. So you can move things with your thoughts? She chuckles. Why? Can't you? I smile. Now that's a mystery. She chuckles. Let's hope you won't need to use it on your journeys, or that winter will never come, or that wolves will cuddle with mouflons. So, what's gonna happen next? Will you build a real wall? Why not? Then grow my connections in the villages, buy more hard drinks, build another shed, a cabin even, and hire a private warden for these roads. You know, my guests. She sips from her cup, looking at you. But it's all in the distant future. We at Creeks need to take care of the eastern route. Clear it for the traders. Without trade, all I have is the locals, and they don't even use dragon bones. But why do you care, dear? Are you planning to stay around? Let's see, our options. We got at least for a few years. I hope to spend a longer time in Havlevin. I hope to stay on the road, visit other parts of the Dragonwoods. I'll see what the future brings. Well, I would assume we would be here for at least a few years if we're working to make some of that cash, that sweet dragon bone cash. At least for a few years. Her smile would suit a bear. If you know how to use that axe of yours, you'll be more than welcomed. On this side of Hag Hills, we need folks who can handle themselves, no matter if they're road wardens, mercenaries, or guards. Just not soldiers. She chuckles. All right, let's change the topic. I must say, love, I rarely meet folks with that many questions. She gives you a warm look. But what hides beneath them? Well, we all need friends, don't we? She rests her hands on her stomach. We do, but some of us need them more than others. I'd say it's better for me to have a peek into a road warden's head. A good one could shake things up a fair bit. The bad ones, well, they die quickly. All right. Well, God, we got a lot to go. In 45 minutes before dusk. I'm looking for Asterion, the previous road warden. She looks at you for a moment without the slightest movement. And why do you think he's here? What's wrong with soldiers? Yeah. I mean, outside of soldiers being soldiers and probably committing war crimes and things like of that nature. Yeah, I don't know. Then again, we've only met those two so far, really, who we became friends with, like on the our first stream of this. Right at the beginning. But maybe we'll be meeting some bad soldiers and we'll find out why. Let's see. Our options here, I'm not saying that I do, but maybe you know where I can find him. Is he here? Or I'm just asking around. Let's go. I'm not saying that I do, but maybe you know where I can find him. Ah, I misunderstood you. She shakes her head and leans on the table. I don't know his whereabouts. He didn't tell me a thing more than I needed to hear. What can you tell me about him? She rests her hand across her stomach, which you identify as her version of crossing her arms. A customer and an errand runner. What's there to say? Your additional questions don't get much more answers, or many more answers. She brings up the man's looks and equipment without adding much to what you've already learned from Tulia. He was playing with dragons, rarely bartered, she adds. That's what city folk do, seeking riches, then locking themselves in a chamber, prisoners of their mights. I smile. Well said. The number of dialogue options in this game is kind of remarkable. Sometimes it gives us like 10 plus choices. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm happy to see it though. I love myself a good dialogue tree. Like you know, outside of this, like you know, Disco Elysium had its a fair amount of options. Also, sometimes quite a bit with some people. But like I can definitely see it in a game like this, or there's no voice acting. You could probably, you know, work on just like the, you know, having more writing for me to read. Yay! Her chuckle makes you think of a wolf's growl. When was the last time you saw Asterion? She glances at a window. Same as the others. In the late days of spring, we were waiting for his return, me and all the villages. Then moved on. I've no idea where he went. All of the villages, you say? She turns toward you with the fierceness of a bear. That's what I said. All right. Let's calm down. Let's have another drink. Towards our friendship here. No reason to get all angry. Did he do any jobs for you? She presses her tongue against her cheek and lips. Well, I'm not sure. He was bringing me news or delivering my messages, sold me some stuff, sometimes bought a thing or two. His life wasn't really that riveting. Just another mug guzzler sitting in the corner, patching his clothes. Did he sell you anything unusual? She stares at you without blinking. Such as what? Alright, let's see what we got. Something that hints to where he went. Something he found in a weird place. Something useful, maybe I could buy it back. Something that hints to where he went. She frowns. I'll tell you if I think of anything. You don't sound especially bothered by his disappearance. You see me as someone eager to make friends with a vagabond. I'll take it as a compliment to my skills as a tavern keep. Folks come and go, their faces disappear, friends die in my arms. She pauses. Families fade away. There was a different Roadwarden years ago, and there is another one now. But there's only one Foggy in the north, and one Illin, that slow son of mine, and one Creeks. I have only so many tears to spare. All right, we'll return to this later. Maybe, once our souls are too restless to stay quiet. All right, half hour before dusk. I'm looking for work. She grins. I somehow doubt you're here to forage for me, love. Not that I have any room for another soul. Let me think. She runs her eyes over the shelves and the trophies, but it's the rocks surrounding the fireplace that catch her attention. The folks at Old Pagos are weirdly quiet. They were supposed to drop 2 wagons of rocks at my place. Can you check on them? Just find out if they're fine. You mentioned the payment. It won't take much work from a rider. You can get there and back in less than a day. Just ride west of here until the road takes you south to the crossroads. Turn west again and you'll find the village. I'll give you, let's say, a dragon bone? You say that it's not much, but she waves it off. A Roadwarden should get familiar with all the villages anyway, right? Just do it when you have a chance. I'll have more coins for you once you prove you can be trusted with simpler tasks. Alright, that's not much. I feel like we tried to go that way on the crossroads and we were blocked by some kind of monster or something. Something that we couldn't fight or get through. Maybe that monster will be gone tomorrow. We can try that again. Let's see. What can you tell me about Old Pagos? It may be one of the oldest villages in the north, but even if not, it's safe with strong walls and safe roads. Their crops are weak, but for generations now they've been cutting stone and building for other tribes in exchange for supplies. Some time ago they tied themselves to the monks, and now they don't look too kindly on those who don't follow the orders of truth. She pauses, twisting her lips to one side, choosing her words carefully. But they're plenty fine folks, true believers, something lost in the city, not ones to deal in slave trading and pillage. Alright, I'll let you know if I learn anything. She gestures for you to go on. Let's see, what can you tell me about the peninsula? She nods. I know this and that. Which place? What can you tell me about? Oh, this is another thing where we can just type things in. Oh, let's see. What about Tulia's camp? That's suggested. What can you tell me about Tulia's camp? A mystery, aye? That it's still standing at all. There were always bad tales about that place. Folks disappearing or getting sick. Highwaymen taking over. Weird screams and nightmares. Caius, the one without a hand? She points towards his whereabouts with her thumb. He had a vision one night there. Something that turned his soul wicked. That's what Hag Hills do to folks. Oh, weird. I didn't know it lets you type stuff in. Oh, yeah. I think it was the last stream. I came across that when we found like this big tree and like an altar, and we had an option to sacrifice to it, and that had like a typing situation, but like it had like an example like this one and mentioned food. Or like our food rations, which I tried, but it didn't do anything. Let's see. How about I want like the ruined village, which is a really weird place. Steep house. Aye, it keeps coming back to me. The poor little place. Those ruins used to be the richest village in the north. Place so close to the pass through Hag Hills, perfect for traders and travelers. Her eyes show sorrow. They cared about the southern road, unlike the hunters from Pelt. They farmed, looked after their forest garden, and yet... She looks away and puts a thumb on her scarred lips. They would have done better spending their dragons on a proper wall, not that pitiful palisade of theirs. They were inviting monsters. Alright. How about Pelt of the North? Let's, that wonderful inn, Pelt of the North. It's a place in what used to be an outpost of dragon hunters. Older than mine, but finally renewed, far away near the pass that leads through Hag Hills. An inn so you can rest there, or buy yourself some food. Layson? Eason? Jason? Layson? The innkeeper leads a group of big game hunters. Though, when they're together, he's like a cloud. Oh, you know what? I just realized, maybe it's when words are highlighted. That's like stuff we can ask about. That might be the deal there. But I'm not taking notes on that shit. Let's see. At first I thought, oh, what was a typo, but I guess that's just her accent. Yeah. She's got the Hank Hill thing going on with that word. All right. Where was I? The innkeeper leads a group of big game hunters. Though when they're together, he's like a cloud above them. Otherwise, they can be a lot of fun. They have been here long. Must be not much more than 10 years, and they mostly keep to themselves. All right, thanks. All right, 30 minutes before dusk still, so we got a little time before we got to get to bed. No peninsula questions. I've heard there are some bandits in the north. She makes an annoyed grimace. Oh, what can I tell you, dear? You know how it goes. Lost souls need a new path after an awfulness finds them, but the years go by, and it doesn't get any easier. One day they take a pile of firewood, another one some bread and even clothes. After they start hurting folk, there's no way back, even if they're not at all cruel. I'm sorry, Roadwarden, I forgot how to speak for a second there. Apologies. You ask her some more, but she's reluctant to give you straightforward answers. You don't have to worry about Glacia's band. They hunt, sometimes take this or that, scavenge after folks who get jumped by beasts. But she would never try to threaten my place. You're safe here, and why would they try to bother a Roadwarden? I don't know, I haven't met him yet. She may be right, some bandits are just desperate, or I frown but bite my tongue. If Havlevin sends its soldiers here, she may face consequences for supporting the outlaws. Well, you know, maybe we should see about, if we can make our way to Glacia's, maybe we can be a cool outlaw comedian, Roadwarden. That could be our description, like in Disco Elysium when we streamed that and we were we played as a superstar party cop. Outlaw comedian Roadwarden sounds pretty good to me, I think. Gotta make that money, right? Gotta make them dragon bones. She may be right, some bandits are just desperate. She smiles. Oh, what else, dear? Okay, so now I'm starting to understand why she doesn't like soldiers. Yeah, it seems like she might have a whole deal with the bandits. Let's see. Have you heard anything about necromancers here in the north? She rubs her chin. I don't like what they're doing one bit, but I can't blame them. The folks at white marshes struggle, and they don't know how to protect their kids. Their elders, or their elders, I guess. Arentius, their priest, she cracks her shoulders, a quiet man, but preaches like a zealot. Always looks like he's on the verge of crying. She opens the door with a wave of her hand, letting in some fresh air. She looks at the lake. They used to trade in lumber, those from the marshes, until Howler's Dell started selling their own trees for better prices. The trade to marshes died, and so came the hunger. She looks at you with an unclear grimace on her lips. You may judge them, but at least their preacher gave them hope, even if it's tied to black magic. All right. Could I spend a night or two under your roof? She approaches a window above the table and looks outside. Your beast won't make it easy for us, dear. She places her hand on the shutters. It's not a city inn. I don't cook for a smile. I don't work to feel noble. I allow folks to lie down there for free. She points to the bare fur with her broad chin. But that's about it. If your horse stays outside, it'll lure the beast to us. But if we move it here, upstairs, it'll leave its droppings on my floor. She gets annoyed even by the idea of it happening. If you want to rest here, love, be ready either to pay with some coin or some food rations, or to spend the night keeping your mount quiet and clean after it in the morning. Will you? She steps away. All right, well, we need to sleep 15 minutes before dusk, so we don't, that's not enough time to get anywhere before we start taking damage from the night fog. Let's see. Oh, well, what do you have for sale? What do you have for sale? Now you're talking, she grins. Well, I could serve you some of my cooking, not food rations, mind you. Need what we can save for the winter season. That's, let's say you give me a dragon, and in return I'll cook for you 4 times. You just need to ride up when you're hungry, and other than that, you won't take any wood or stone, are you? Seeing you shrug, she waves it off and heads towards the trap door. After a minute, she shows up with a sack that clangs after every step. I can sell you some scraps. She pulls out a couple of iron clasps, nails, and a broken steel blade of value trash. We found them while foraging. We don't have a furnace in Creeks, but you could sell these bits and pieces to someone else. She observes you for a moment, then shrugs. Let's discuss the price? All right, let me take a look first. All right, fresh meals, 1 dragon bone. We only got 3. We should probably take a meal. And we don't have enough dragon bones to buy the iron scraps anyways. Let's get the fresh meals. We might be back here anyways. All right. We bought ourselves a meal. I'd like to eat now, please. She stretches out her arm and grabs a bowl. Give me a moment. You sit down at the clean table. After a moment, wow, that was quick. The keeper brings you a bowl of flat gruel, another bowl with fish soup, and a soft-boiled egg. It's already late, so you devour everything that's in front of you. Foggy mentions that you've already paid for another 3 meals. All right. Okay, and we have our sleep option here. She won't even let us take our horse upstairs. Jeez, lady. I think she mentioned that we could. We would just have to spend all night keeping our horse quiet and then clean up afterwards, which might not be good sleep for us. All right, let's go to bed. All right, Our options here: sleeping in the main hall. The bear fur will be a fine sleeping spot, but your horse will disturb your rest, and in the morning you'll have to clean up after it. Sleeping here will be rather uncomfortable. Oh, okay, so we'd be bringing the horse into the main hall. Or sleeping in the attic. You'll have plenty of space and many furs to choose from. The staff will help you take care of your mount's filth. Okay, so that would cost us a dragon bone and then 2 rations, which would be the rest of our rations. All right, well, we do have this place where we can eat, so maybe we'll get the better sleep. Oh boy, we're taking a risk here. The monstrous shouts wake you up. The night is bright, and from the window of the tavern you have a good look at the yard. A few massive dragonlings are exploring the courtyard, knocking over wooden tools with their tails, putting their noses into buckets and underneath the stairs. You count 5 of them so far, but you can't see the entire area at once. One of them spots your look and moves closer. Still, it doesn't try to climb to the door. Maybe it's experienced enough to know it won't get through. Let's see, our options. I close the shutter slowly. I go back to sleep with an axe in my hand. I scoff and leave the shutter open. Stupid lizard. All right, let's go back to sleep with our axe lover here. Listening to the grunts of the annoyed Danger makes you feel uneasy, but at least the furs covering the floor are helping you relax. You don't even notice when it's already morning, and while the smell coming from the lower floor is not inviting, at least it's not you who has to take care of it. Foggy turns towards you and waits for you to speak. I think I'm done here for now. And we got 14 hours and 30 minutes before dusk. Day 3, 37 days before autumn. So 37 days left in the game. All right, time for me to go. Danger is napping. Oh, I could wash myself in the lake. But let's approach the foragers first. Once the man in black fur hears your steps, he nudges his companion and nods toward you. They put away the old noose traps they are trying to fix, proper for hares and small birds. The tall one spreads his arms, thundering his loud voice. A Roadwarden, eh? I guess we're going to see each other a lot. I'm Ilan, and this shorty here is Tzvi. I have no idea how to pronounce that. The man in black fur looks up, frowning. There's also the one-handed man you saw in the attic. Unlike the rest of the staff, he has an unkempt beard and worn clothes made of blue fabric, patched with scraps of flour sacks. He's looking down to examine a trap, but his shoulders are slumped, eyes absent. Ilan doesn't introduce him. All right, hey, I'm Vertigo. Nice to meet you. Ilan smiles. Were you at the Pelt of the North yet, friend? He blushes. How is Dalit doing? Is that the one with yellow armor? She's well, seems to keep the whole crew together. That's her, a lively color, aye? Yellow? He smiles, but you catch a hint of envy in his voice. Better say hi to her for us. Her boss was looking for hard drinks and healing potions. I wish I could have helped her. He glances at his companion, who's currently observing a column of ants running alongside the palisade. They were offering good prices, and she was really good at dice and told us about so many monsters. Tzivy adjusts his black cloak. Our traps won't fix themselves. What brings you to us? Ilan frowns at this interruption, but says nothing. I like that we could just close the window and pretend we didn't see anything. Yeah. Oh, I love having options like that. Makes the game so much more fun. Just like scoffing and calling it a stupid lizard is definitely something I will do when I replay this as just like a total rat bastard shithead. Let's see, what's your plan? I could use some work. Tzivy nods and Ilan's voice gets even louder. Glad to hear that. Oh, 1 second. Oh my god. It's already killing my voice. There's hardly any fruits left around here, and even fewer mushrooms, so we're planning to do some bird catching, a hunt without killing. Maybe not today, but in 7 days, maybe a bit later. What do you say? How much do you pay? I mean, it may be a scary trip, but it won't take that long. Ilan shrugs. Just show up here at noon or before it. We'll be back in a few hours. You'll get 5 dragons, 2 if the bird dies. That's a good price for 1 afternoon, aye? Well, I can't leave my horse behind. Oh, I wouldn't worry about it. Ilan waves a hand just like his mother. The idiot will take care of it. The one-handed man starts to object, but a harsh "Shut up!" Oh wait, nope, this is from Tviz. Shut up. From Tzvizy makes him sigh. His shoulders sag. Ilan goes on. He's a loony and would stumble over his own feet on a trip, but does what he needs when told to, and you know he won't steal it. He hates animals. Why would you need me to, why would you need my help with birds? Don't you just let them walk into traps? Ilan glances at the cords used for snares. These won't do. We want to catch a runner this big. He raises his muscular arm and stops it maybe a foot above his head. And bring it here alive. We want its meat for later. The man with one hand interrupts him. His voice is weak but disdainful. Beasts ought to be dealt with, not tamed. Bonding with monsters brings only death. He has the accent of the city folk, same as your... Oh, yeah, exactly the same as mine. Yep, absolutely. Will bring us full bellies in winter, squawks Tzivy. Alright, let's see. Alright, fine, I'll be back in 7 days or soon after that, or we'll just not come back at all, who knows. Ilan grins. Do so, we still need to prepare, and you better do so as well. We don't, but don't make us wait for long. Let's not test the bird's patience. Just come 1 day before afternoon. Alright, I turn towards the one without a hand. Do you know Tulia? The man gives you a surprised glance, but then looks down and crosses his arms, holding his hand under his shoulder. I'm a new man now. There's nothing that ties me to the army. You've crossed a great part of this land, greater than most. Have you seen anything unusual? He takes a deep breath. His voice is close to a whisper. There's fog in my soul. I was on the eastern road, hungry and sick, praying for the right to send its beasts on me and save me from the pains of living. I remember the touch of fur and the breath on my neck, the claws pinning me to the ground. I was waiting with my eyes closed, then I woke up in the middle of the night, still feeling. I got back on my feet, walking until I reached the lights of this tavern without so much as a bruise. Foggy may have no faith in her heart, but the right used her kindness to give me a second chance. Ilan frowns at the man's words, and there's cautiousness in his voice. He may be crazy, but it's true he came here after midnight, raving. Maybe the monsters don't like his scent. So you forgot everything. He hides his stump in the palm of his hand and curls up. I've seen a dragon eating a tree, an ape that tore away the head of a monstrous cat, and a wolf without fur that was as quick as lightning. Now, leave me alone, evil spirit. Let my shame rest. He's shaking. Oh, I was doing my voice for Tzivi, but... Alright, let him rest. Tzivi grunts at you. Nothing wrong about a man trying to forget. None of these voices are going to be consistent in any way whatsoever, apparently. Ilan rubs his chin. A furless wolf, friend? I've heard about one. Our tribesfolk saw it in the heart of the woods. A nasty beast. Let's hope it won't find a mate for breeding. It charges at you like a runner and jumps right at your throat. He touches his neck, so even the hunters stay away from it. Too bad we've no crossbows. He raises his wooden club. Better to avoid the deep woods without one. Do you often have travelers here? Ilan's voice is like thunder. Nah! You may very well be the last of this season. Sometimes a group of adventurers, but who knows why, and southern traders in spring and autumn. Most of our visitors are from the villages, usually creeks and Gale rocks. They leave goods at our place or just outside, and my ma barters in their name with the others. I mean, rocks, timbers, furs, and barreled fish can wait a few days. I don't even know if I care about, tell me about the peninsula, I guess. We're just wasting all kinds of time here. Tzivi lets out a sigh. Not much to see here, trees, rocks, ponds. I've never been in Howlers. He starts, but then Ilan chips in. I have a couple of times. A nice place, kind folks, lots of grain. They have but one trader, a Kakios. He pays poorly, but at least he doesn't waste one's time, gets straight to the point, see? He thinks for a bit. And they're all so tall, twice as tall as he is. He points at Tzivi, who frowns and squeaks back at him. Bullshit. You gossip for the next few minutes, but the things they share with you are of little use. They end up saying that you should talk with Foggy instead. She used to travel a lot and speaks with every visitor. Well, we spoke to her all last night. All right, I walk away. You're in the middle of the yard. Danger is observing the movement on the lake. I could wash myself in the lake. You enter the bridge and move to its edge. Somewhere below you, you notice a glimmer. Hey, you! Step back, run! Without even thinking, you leap towards the yard. A long teeth-filled mouth breaks through the water surface, splashing it in every direction. It bites the empty space where you were just standing, while the front limbs, thick, scaled, and ending with claws as large as your fingers, land on the wood. Once the saurian's yellow eyes notice that you're outside of its reach, it nonchalantly slides back into the lake. You hear laughter coming from the yard. Ilan was running with help, but now stands with hands on his thighs, cackling without rest. Tzivi, on the other hand, looks at you with worry. You see a hand kept beneath his cloak, as if he was reaching for something. What are you doing, The lake isn't for outsiders. I gasp for air and thank them for the warning. I'll stay away, don't you worry. He just nods and gestures for his companion to cut it. They both move toward the gate. All right. Let's go ahead. Throw a couple of saves down here. And get back to the map. All right. Okay, so the Western Crossroads were down here. Travel time 3 hours and 30 minutes. I know there's more to explore up here, but yeah, let's see if we can go further west, because we've been wanting to get to Old Pagos. All right. There we go. The path is clear, in a way. The pebbler is nowhere in sight, but the road is covered with leaves and broken branches. Okay, that's what was blocking us when we were here previously. The pebbler. The big, super tall monster that can pretty much just crush you by looking at you. The only fruit-bearing trees are growing right on the sides of the road, surely planted there by humans. There are plenty of fruits and leaves the monster may chew on, so it may return any day now. All right, let's see our options here. Let's hope the scavenger was right about the troll urine. Yeah, that's right. We got ourselves a jar of troll piss. What a deal that was. Or if it craves what this place has to offer so much, I should just get rid of its food. It may be a tiresome task, but at least I'll gather some fruits for myself. Who knows? Maybe it won't be back. Oh, yeah, let's try gathering some food for ourselves. You prepare all your tools, especially your thick protective gloves, and tether Danger to one of the younger trees. It's not an easy task. You spend about 2 hours cutting down twigs, shaking off the fruits of the thinner branches, picking them by hand, or hitting them with a stick. Your rope helps you stay secure, and the first few minutes of climbing is closer to fun than work, but the longer it takes, the more tired you become. You finally take a break to eat a couple of plums and apples, but the best ones you save for later, covering them with a blanket and putting it at the very top of your bundles. You're standing on a carpet of greens, browns, reds, and purples. You drag some of the thicker branches to the side to make riding forward easier, but the earthworms and boars are going to have a feast. All right, let's hope the pebbler is picky enough to ignore all the mess on the ground and continue on here. The corridor of prune trees leads you to a steep ascent. Behind them grows a peaceful meadow filled with flowers and crickets and the humming of a waterfall. On the beaten path, you spot no footprints or wheeled trails, but there's smoke on the horizon. I dismount and lead Danger on a rope. The pastures and fields are spread over an unnatural plateau. Humans must have been carving in the hill for generations, covering it with soil brought here in buckets and wagons. Among the weeds and tall grasses, you spot rotting tools and a tunic. The pasture is overgrowing, and so are the fields. Some of the oats are ready for harvest. All right, our options here: something is wrong, I prepare my axe, or I stay calm. Yeah, rotting tools and a tunic, but yeah, if the tools are rotting, that may have been from long ago. Would there still be a monster here? Well, no reason not to save. Save that game. Let's try staying calm. The locked gate is taller than a troll, and you can't imagine climbing up the massive wall. For a moment, you follow the path to the edge of the cliff. The roaring ocean is more than 100 feet below you. You spot no one looking at you from the watchtower, no patrols of archers. The wall is occupied by black and blue birds of various types. You return to the gate and focus on the sounds. There are a few screaming ibexes. A young boy is crying. All right, I knock on the gate with my fist. The thudding scares away the birds. They call loudly, starting the cacophony of throats and flapping wings. After a minute, you hear a bronze plate scratching against the wood as someone reveals the peephole. The strict female voice stops you from moving closer. Traveler, old Pagos is secluding, for it has been smitten by a deadly plague. Be gone before ye get sick. All right, here comes our favorite option, the playful. Of course, as usual, we have friendly, be supportive and cordial. Playful, use a joke or witty comment. Distance, hide your emotions. Intimidating, hint at a threat. Or vulnerable, be sad, tired, afraid, or hopeless. However, we are a comedian in this game. We are very, very funny. Everybody knows the name Vertigo in Havlevin. So let's throw a joke. I mean, they have a play going on. They could use a little laughter, couldn't they? Isn't laughter the best medicine after all? All right, let's give it a shot. Let's throw a joke out. Oh boy, joke time. That's right, Dog Nozzle. You know it. Let your Roadwarden in. I can handle a sore throat. Woo! Got him. Got him. No one can stand up to our fucking improv, let me tell you. The voice rises. Stay away. We parted with dozens of souls already. Others are spending their days sleeping, screaming from nightmares. In Right's name, we won't drown other tribes with us. More people approach the gate. You hear their distrustful whispers. You look into the young brown eyes that match the skin of the black-haired owner. While the woman looks like a southerner, she has a strong local accent. Oh, well. We'll fulfill our duty, she concludes with a, wait. Is this a different woman who's talking, or the same one? I'll assume it's the same one. We'll fulfill our duty, she concludes with a strong, confident voice. She follows you cautiously without blinking, like a fighter awaiting a strike. Well, before I leave, I need to ask you a few things. Let's see, that joke didn't even make sense. No, it didn't. Most of these don't. It's great. I love it. They're so terrible. Oh, let's see. Ask, but there's not much we can do for ye. We see no one, we travel nowhere. We were born on this hill and we'll die here. After a few breaths, her eyes get kinder. I'm Tertia. If ye bring any news, I'll take them to our council. Tell me more about this illness. What does it do? Oh, what does it do, rather? She, Oh, okay, we, maybe that was, is that part of our quest? Did we have that, to check on old Pagos? Foggy, the tavern keeper from, is one, okay, we got that from Foggy. Okay, so we can go back there. Back to, Foggy Lake. She glances at someone or something that stands to her right. It lasts a long time. Even those who seem to avoid death remain weak for days. There are fevers, headaches, red faces, red eyes, and rash. Those whom we have had to burn were sleeping and raving, unable to understand us. and got too weak to move or even drink. She looks down. Children and the elderly suffer the most. All right, I know there's a plague going on, but why don't you harvest your crops? Even though her cold gaze doesn't break, her voice betrays her pain. Some of our youth refuse to stay behind the walls. They say they need to leave before they fall sick. If we were to let them outside, one of them could refuse to come back. You frown. No, it wasn't pain what you heard. It's shame. Alright, I'm looking for Asterion, the previous Roadwarden. You can't tell anything from her eyes. Isn't he dead? Well, I want to know for sure. If he's not, what else? Souls perish on the roads every day. We don't wait for him anymore. The best ye can hope for is that he rode south. What is it that you were waiting for? That's not much of a secret. She looks to her right, then at you again. Head far east to the crossroads. You'll find a watchtower and an old building made of our stone. You notice the pride in her voice, but hardly used since the war. Your friend wanted to turn it into a shelter, hire guards patrol the roads. He took our key and rode away. He was meant to meet with us again, trade for materials and tools. Never happened. Alright, any idea who else could have such a key? Before it was completed, the builders were spending the rainy days in the coastal village in the far north. Gale Rocks, it's called. Ask there. Well, which way would you take if you were to travel to the watchtower? The northern route, most likely. There's more tribes there, but the eastern road is dangerous, no matter from which way you're going to enter it. But if ye care about time, she hesitates, ye could check on the gate. Though opening it on your own, it may not be easy. It used to be that our guards were keeping it open for the travelers, but the last one that we sent away, Quintus, is either dead or seeking refuge at another village. Still, behind the gate you'll find the shortcut. It's a dangerous path, but your palfrey may be just fast enough to get ye to the other end. You ask her, what can she tell you about this gatekeeper, and she gives you a warm look. He may not be not of the sharp. Oh my god, I can't even read this freaking sentence. He may be not of the sharpest wits, but he's loyal to his duty and returns kindness with kindness, like we all should. All right, yeah, we met Quintus. We were there at the gate last stream. I met Quintus. He's doing fine. So he's still with us. Her voice rings with enthusiasm. She asks about his well-being, reacting to your story with a mixture of worry and joy. I'm sorry to hear about his nose. I hope he knows what he's doing. I'm sorry to hear about his nose. I hope he knows what he's doing. That's funnier than any of our fucking jokes. God damn it, game. God damn it. In his position, I would just look for work in Howler's Dell or ask for help from his friends at the Pelt. Let's see. We need this lady to give us joke lessons. Yeah, seriously. Oh my god. What we need really is I remember in Planescape Torment, when you would visit Fall from Grace's brothel of slaking intellectual lusts, and one of the ladies in there, like her specialty was like taunting people and making fun of them, bullying them. And Morte, the little floating skull companion that you can have in the game, learned new taunts which were useful kind of in combat, a little bit. And yeah, we should have something like that where we can pick up jokes from the people that we meet who are clearly funnier than we are. Let's see. Were you bothered by any bandits in recent seasons? Not in years, Warden. They did attack us on the road once before, but their little pack won't come here. At first her tone is gentle, but after she blinks twice it turns solemn. Or they would face our anger. Our walls fear only dragons. Our blades are made of steel. Hell yeah, blades of steel, baby. The old classic NES hockey game. The best old school hockey game, in my opinion. Loved Blades of Steel back in the day. Let's see. Do you want me to ask the other villages for help? There's no love between us and them. We don't share drinks, stories, or dances. If it weren't for marriages, our children would never see each other, and if it wasn't for trade, we could just as well live on a mountain peak. They need our stone, we need fishes and salt from Gale Rocks, game meat from creeks, and grain from Howler's Dell. But all of them are harpies, led by greed and lust, the same ills that wounded our grandparents. She hesitates and looks to her left. Still, the wicked souls of White Marshes are even more burrowed in shadows. Sounds like you hold a grudge against them. She takes a deep breath. Yet, I won't spread any rumors. As much as it saddens me, they need us to survive and we need them. And you're even stranger to us than they are. Alright, she doesn't trust me enough to say anything more about the other villages. Do you have anything for sale? Maybe some food rations? We hardly have enough for ourselves. We used to get supplies for rocks and sculptures, but the monks advised us against it. Our wares may carry the illness. All right, nothing else I can. Okay, so I get we can't get into Old Pagos, but we did visit it, so we could go back to Foggy. Let's open up our map here, or we could go to the Old Forest Garden and kind of check around that way. Oh, that seems like it might be leading us behind the gate, so that might be like the northern way to get to the watchtower then. We might hold off on that for the moment. Let's head back to Foggy Lake. How much time we got? 3 hours and 45 minutes before dusk. Yeah, we're almost done. We'll turn in our little side quest here. There's a pleasant scent of chamomile coming from the unusually clean cauldron. Foggy is kneeling by the hearth, removing ash and washing the cauldron. She welcomes you with a gentle nod. Let's see here. Alright, I bring news from Old Pagos. They're not good. Alright, quest completed. And check on Old Pagos. We got 1 dragon bone. Listening to your tale, she rubs her forehead. Well, not what I was hoping to hear, love. But I'm glad you went there. Better warn the other settlements. Folks should know before they send their own messengers. It's going to be a rough few seasons for all of us. She pulls out a dragon bone from her pocket and tosses it in your direction. Here, good job. She steps towards the ajar door and looks at the lake. Want me to do anything else? She scratches the stump of her missing arm. Her powerful voice carries a hint of a threat. I need a soul who can handle a delicate task, and I'm not sure it's you, dear. Alright, she doesn't trust me enough to give me another job yet. Maybe it's bandit related, so maybe we need to get in with a Glaucia or whatever before we can get more quests from Foggy here. I spoke with Caius. I wonder why you decide to keep him around. Ha! Do I need a reason? Her amused eyes get thoughtful as she looks at the ceiling. He came here as a poor soul in need, taught only how to use a spear and a shield. I know how it feels to have all that you're good at taken away from you. She straightens up and hits her chest with her fist. But so I know that new paths await us, with or without the help of others. Caius's legs may be buried in despair, but I'm ready to throw him a shovel once he asks for it. She pauses, then looks through the window. Though these fantasies of his won't help him ask anytime soon, they swallow his thoughts. Rude, we just helped her out. Yeah, right. We've proven that we can follow a task. All right, we feel well, and I don't think we need to grab another food yet. Oh, wait, our nourishment, my bad. Well, maybe we'll come back here. We'll explore around a couple of screens and then race on back here to sleep again, I think. Might as well save. All right, let's head back to the map here. Let's try going up north. 'Cause I know, like, super north is where we get to the pagans. We want to meet the pagans, the necromancers. You follow the road spread between the hills and lonely trees until you reach a solid wooden bridge, not older than a generation. You ride uphill, but danger manages to keep up. The dark woods in the south are behind a gently humming creek, while the forest on your right was trimmed by the locals. It's a peaceful journey, at least for some time. After a few minutes, you spot a group of wolves feasting on a fallen furry beast, maybe a wisent. One of them looks towards you. All right, we ride a bit faster. Those necromancers better be good. We've been looking for them for ages. Right. They better be really cool, or else. The road fades into an old tunnel. There are no signs of mining, no signposts, no human voices. The ceiling is supported by wooden beams, but the light only reaches so far. The chilling wind mercilessly bends the few lonely trees, while the shrubs oppose the weather patiently. The side path leading west is somewhat maintained, and you find both boot prints and cart tracks. It leads higher into the mountains. 2 hours and 45 minutes before dusk. Oh, we're kind of pushing it here. All right. I tether Danger to the tree, then enter the tunnel. Your mount observes the area anxiously, so you stay for a moment to give it a good scratch under its neck and say some confident-sounding rubbish. You unpack all the things you need to make a new, simple torch: a log, some old rugs, a bit of oil. You grab your tinderbox and sit on the ground for a couple minutes preparing the flint and the linen char cloth. Decades ago, before the southern invasion, people used fire strikers made of thick steel, but all you have is a cube-like piece of harsh pyrite. It's not the best, but it's enough to make a couple of sparks. The loud, flickering yellow light unevenly hits your cheek with heat. You raise the torch, but hold it at an angle, letting the oil drip on the ground. All right, let's see where the tunnel leads. For a few minutes, you follow a fairly straight corridor. The timber supporting the ceiling is decaying, but you don't spot any signs of collapse. The floor is littered with bones and rotting food, most likely dragged in here by wild beasts. but there are also signs of soot above you and boot prints left on the dry mud. You reach the crossroads and stop in place. There's no sconce in sight, so you'd have to constantly carry the torch or lose it for good. And it won't last for long anyways. The draft is hardly noticeable, so looking for an exit in the dark could be dangerous. Alright, to explore the tunnel, I need a reliable source of light. Alright, let's head back outside. Danger welcomes us. What a our trustworthy horse, our trustworthy palfrey. Alright, let's, I guess, head back to... Yeah, it took us an hour to get back here. We'll probably need to sleep here. Hour and 45 minutes before dusk. Alright, let's head on in. I'd like to eat. Yeah, it's the same food. We've read that before. Let's sleep. We got no rations, so let's do our uncomfy sleep in the main hall. The sounds of rain wake you up briefly. Before you return to sleep, you think about your plans. Riding in the mud is difficult. Danger will have a rough time, especially on the unpaved grounds. It may be a good day to take a break at an inn. Like most people, you wake in the middle of almost every night. Before your second sleep comes, you spend an hour or two taking care of your belongings, shell and soul. Some people spend this time with their friends, families, or lovers.
Wow.
But your routine is different. If you don't have to take care of essential tasks. All right, here are options. I stretch my muscles, work out a bit. I spend some time outside observing stars and listening to the wild creatures. I check on Danger. It's a good time to brush it, make sure it has everything it needs. It's the best time to pray and think about my dreams, or I just stay where I am, trying to ease my soul and focus on my breathing. I feel anxious during this time. Oh, the star stat is our appearance. People, stay away from us. Your face is dirty, your clothes are torn and worn. Oh, we are a stinky boy, stinky Roadwarden. We haven't taken a bath in ages. All right, let's go outside. Let's observe some stars and listen to the creatures of the night. It's an exhausting night. Danger keeps stepping in place or walking, taking only short naps. You can't count how many times you try to calm it down with your voice, touch, and by offering it water or a snack, but nothing helps. You close your eyes for an hour or so in the late morning, then clean up after your mount. The stench alone is disarming. Foggy turns towards you and waits for you to speak. All right. Oh, yeah. Our armor is pretty... We gotta get to the... Oh, God, we need money. All right. See, this is now where we're getting into deadly territory here. Our armor is damaged. We're really stinky. We have no food rations, and we only got 3 dragon bones. Oh, we do have this fruit though. We do have the fruit. I forgot about that. But yeah, only 3 dragon bones. All right. Yeah, time for me to go. Let's hit save on our new day here. All right, 13 hours before dusk, day 4, 36 days before autumn. So we're just filthy. Yep, we are absolutely filthy right now. All right, Let's yeah, we can't do anything that way. Let's go east, I guess. Let's see what lies this way. The road east is beaten and clean, with enough space to fit 2 wagons side by side. You pass a few plum trees, apple trees, and cherry trees, but many more stumps, likely belonging to what has been turned into Foggy Lake. The life in the plains is busy and loud, but so far you don't see any lurking beasts. Judging by the many trampled parts of the meadows and the fresh food trails, the foragers search this corner of the peninsula quite often. Yeah, they didn't leave much behind. You reach a shining pond at the end of the edge of the forest. You ride beneath 2 trimmed trees growing on the opposite sides of the path, like columns leading to Right's temple. Shouts and heavy steps prepare you for trouble ahead. 2 shells are circling around each other. One of them is a 4-legged saurian with dark gray skin, as long as your palfrey, but only knee-high. It's wandering left and right along the bank, hissing repetitively, sticking its split tongue out and then retracting it. The stout monster doesn't look like a born hunter of humans, but its long tail is swinging like a whip. For now, only threateningly so, but you don't doubt that getting hit by it would likely break your bones. The second one belongs to a brown-skinned man wearing leather pants, a long brown woolen cloak, and the matching pelt of a wolf on his head and shoulders, like a haunting hood. His voice is both gentle and scared, and he's scratching his hands in front of him, trying to make the beast stay away as if it's a mouflon. A third shell is right in the middle between the other 2, a creature you don't recognize from a distance, but it is in a puddle of its own blood and isn't moving. Oh boy. Oh boy. Are they fighting over maybe like a hunting kill for food, or maybe this is like a baby saurian? All right. I guess we'll hit save, and before we do anything, I'm gonna take a quick restroom break. We'll be back in about a minute or so, and we'll see what we can do to help smooth this situation out. Maybe the saurian creature would like to hear one of our classic comedy bits. Could help calm this dangerous situation down. But we'll find out very shortly. Be right back, everybody. Alrighty, we are back. All right, let's see how we can fuck this situation up, I guess. Okay, so we got a dude and a saurian at odds with each other, and some other animal in between them in a pool of their own blood. All right. So our options here are, let's see, axe in hand, I jump on the ground and rush to help, or I ride slowly, taking a closer look at the entire situation. Maybe we should be calm here. Yeah, let's ride slowly and examine what's going on. You stand up in the saddle to have a better view and realize that the corpse on the ground is but that of a white ibex. The man who acknowledges your presence with a nod speaks with a hint of playfulness in his voice, asking the saurian to be so nice as to stay away. He then turns towards you and points at the prey. "Friend, lend me a hand, will you? I'm trying to seize it." As you dismount, the saurian takes a step closer to the pond. You know what time it is, everybody. You know what time it is. It is joke time. Let me catch up here. I looked up mouflon since it comes up so much in the game. It's a kind of sheep. Okay, that is actually good to know. I've been wondering it. It's been mentioned so much, and I couldn't remember if Like they mentioned that it was like a sheep or like what a mouflon was when we started the game. I couldn't remember. But yeah, okay, that is good to know now. Okay, so just a little sheepy. All right, let's toss out a joke. Let's cool this situation down. I don't think your ibex can be helped, kind stranger. Okay, that one was actually kind of funny. All right, we're getting a little better. We're getting there. Maybe it's like a thing. I wonder if there's like a system where like all of these like comments, like you get better at them the more you use them. Maybe, since it does have an RPG thing going on apparently too. Kind of like how it mentions, like, the more you use your weapons, the better you become with them, stuff like that. He tilts his head, then lets out a chuckle. Ah, we made him laugh. We made him laugh. No one can say that. That'll be 5 dragon bones for the show, friend. He tilts his head back and then lets out a chuckle. Nah, not mine was the kill, and I'm not a beast breeder. He points at his hat, as if it's meant to be proof of some sort. The brown moth resting on his forehead is quite distracting. But there's food in the middle of the road. How can I look away? This ibex is our destiny, friend. After a short pause, he whispers, Say, do you have any fruit in those sacks? Throw some at it. He points at the beast. We did get some fruit conveniently. We successfully did a comedy joke. That's right. We are now officially the king of comedy. All right, I unpacked some wild fruits. I guess we'll toss one. You show him a sack, and he eagerly nods. Perfect! Go ahead, throw them. You grab apples and pears that don't look so appetizing and toss them towards the beast. They land just next to it, and while it walks left and right, moving its tongue in and out rapidly, it only crushes some of the fruits with its feet. Maybe more would do it. Without asking for your permission, the man grabs a few more plums, throwing them right at the beast's head. They land, and the creature cuts the air with its tail, hissing angrily. But other than that, nothing changes. No, what? I think the fruit eaters have those yellow dots on their backs. He starts, but clears his throat after he meets your eyes. Our new friend here is not very helpful. And we lost... How much fruit did we lose? We lost a whole ration of fruit. Alright, our options are to take a dice roll. I sigh and look at my weapons. I'll distract it. You grab the ibex and drag it away. Or I step away. Well, I guess we're out of luck. Alright, let's take the risk. I sigh and look at my weapons. I'll distract it. You grab the ibex and drag it away. He scratches his hood and nods with approval. You know what, friend? That's an excellent plan. Do so. Without another glance, he once again shouts at the beast, and then dashes away from you, followed by his cape. The monster hisses and reaches forward, as if waiting to see what you are going to do. You step forward, hoping to draw the monster's attention as far away from the carcass as possible. It answers your challenge and shortens the distance even further. Oh boy. Alright, these are all dice roll options. So we can either focus on avoiding its attacks, Try to wound it. Try to look big and scare it away with shouts and gestures. What to do? What to do? What to do? I mean, we're like a fighter. As a Roadwarden, we're supposed to keep the place safe. Although maybe avoiding its attacks would be a better call. Kind of like, just like trying to wound it. Now I'm kind of thinking of like your typical Dark Souls kind of thing where I'm just going to go in, axe a-blazing, and then you just get killed in half a second. How did we get ourselves into this situation anyway? We're exploring. I don't know where to go, and we just clicked on a place, and now we're here, and no, we did a comedy bit, and then we threw fruit at an animal, and now we're about to fight. All right, let's focus on avoiding its attacks. Or yeah, try to look big and scare it away with shouts and gestures. I don't know if that would be better. I mean, they all have a chance of succeeding or failing, so I guess it doesn't really matter. I don't know. Let's focus on avoiding its attacks, I guess. How do you expect it to strike? I don't know. I'm a comedian. I am not a master of Saurian lore. This is my 4th day on the job as a warden, and our first time being confronted by a Saurian. As far as I remember. The description did make a big deal about its tail. You know, yeah, that is right. Although, I wonder if this is also us doing that weird world-building thing it's done before, where if we keep an eye on its tail, then it attacks with the tail, or we jump away when it opens its mouth, and that's what happens, or we jump aside. But yeah, I think we'll go with your point, actually, Dog Nozzle. And if you get us killed, banned from the channel again. I keep an eye on its tail. The Saurian still surprises you with the range of its attacks. It turns around while pouncing forward and swings the tail at your chest. Thanks to all the attention you paid to its movements, you duck beneath it, then jump away. The next few sways are distant enough that you don't have to fear them. Ha! Dumb beast! You hear. The thief is running away with the ibex on his back, holding it by the legs while it hangs from his shoulders. You chase after him, barely able to outspeed the monster yourself, as it has already lost any interest in you. Without your help with the weight of the carcass, you doubt the man could get far. I shouted danger. Run! You follow the trail of blood as well as the constantly bouncing head of a brown wolf. Once you get close, the man doesn't mind sharing the burden with you. You now hold the creature by its head, and while running side by side is awkward, the weight isn't overwhelming. Your palfrey leads the two of you up the hill. It didn't even touch you, Some good dodging. He warmly laughs, but let's not tempt fate. He looks back, yells in panic, and speeds up. I tell him to prepare for a fight. It worked, banning averted. But... Oh, damn it, but the clash never comes. All right. You won this round, Dog Nozzle. All right, let's see. But the clash never comes. After another minute, the beast gives up on its pursuits. Though you wouldn't have realized if it wasn't for Danger, who now trots without a single care. You look back, and the Saurian indeed backs down, moving to its pond slowly. Once you approach the woods, you take a short break. Even from a distance, you can see a distinct trail leading between the trees. Not a garden, this forest, the man speaks briefly, gasping from the burden. But not too dark, and cats are but a few. Boars are there, though, and gargoyles. Better not go too deep. There are no roads there. His face is not much older than 20, shaved with great care, cleaner even than among the city folk. While his hood and heavy cloak mask his figure, he seems well fed and healthy. We're halfway there, friend. Creeks is a gorgeous place. You know, you'll love it. All right, well, hey, okay, we're getting to a new town. That's on our list of things to do. You know, we're getting there. We're getting there. Oh, let me check something real quick here. All right. Okay, let's see. I smile. I'm sure I will. We'll see. Don't ruin the surprise. All right, we'll smile. I'm sure I will. I'm sure Creeks is a fine place. Carrying the ibex takes a while, but the man is incapable of being silent. Every unusual tree seems to be tied to a story from his life, and he makes sure that you notice the first stream you cross on a new, solid bridge. One of many creeks, you see, he says with untamed amusement. A thin gorge leads you between the mountains. This place is quite susceptible to bandits, or it truly feels like it truly feels like an end of the realm. You follow the trail of shouts and laughter. 7 people, about 20 years old each, are gathered at the wooden bridge, leaning against the railing, bathing in the stream. Oh God, we need to do that pretty bad. Lying on the grass. Pieces of clothing made of fur and leather are spread around next to cudgels and throwing clubs. Oh, excuse me. All right, once the sound of hooves manages to break through the chattering, the curious young eyes, untouched by wartime, turn toward you, and an excited whisper spreads. The shells are proudly displayed, and the confident smiles are both inviting and challenging. How's water? The hunter greets his tribesfolk while stepping on the logs. Gentle and warm, says a man resting on his friend's shoulder. That's a nice ibex. There are paths leading in many directions, but the main road will take you uphill. Let's see. Awkward, as I walk past the naked people, I look at the watchtower. There's no reason for me to be embarrassed. I look at them. Oh boy. Oh boy. Are we going to take in the nudity on a Twitch stream? Yes, we are. There's no reason for me to be embarrassed. I look at them. I look at all of them. The light dances on wet hair, both on their heads and crotches.
Wow!
Luring your eyes just as much as the revealed chests and muscular arms. You've interrupted not just their bath, The soul who's speaking with your guide is embracing another man as he's sitting behind him, while one of the women is keeping her arm around the waist of yet another man. We're gonna get the stream shut down for nudity. Yes, verbal nudity. Again.
Wow.
Yeah. All these sex words going on. You hardly see any wounds or marks caused by sickness. The harshest days of this group are still ahead. As you move your eyes from one person to another, they greet you with kind nods, but you notice that the ones standing on the bridge are holding their breath and leaning away. You notice your own scent, and once you step off the logs, the hunter chuckles. Seeking warmth, eh? Don't worry, you can always wash yourself in here. Oh god, they noticed our stench. All right, I nod to the group, then follow the man. We gotta take a bath as soon as humanly possible. All right, I nod to the group, then follow the man. The palisade is as tall as trees, but being placed on top of the crags makes it look impassable. What? Why is the gate closed? The hunter turns to the watchtower and repeats his question, only louder. Maybe call Ayla? Too blind to see we have a guest, aye? A hardly visible guard with a female voice leans from the tower. He's coming, Howler. Relax. Her shouts hint of no patience toward him. The youth dine in the woods after a bath. Why wouldn't we close? The man glances at you. Who's Ayla? Just my brother. He gestures for you to ignore it. And I'm Ephron. So thanks to our parents, folks keep mistaking our names, but Ayla has a stick in his ass and is as boring and nagging as a legless donkey. The soul from the tower hides again, and the gate opens. We enter the village. Haha, our 0 out of 5 appearance stat was bound to cause problems eventually. Yeah. We're all up in here like, hey, naked friends, what do you think about this? And they're just like, oh, fucking get away, dude. You smell like shit. Oh my god. All right, the sparse clumps of grass survive only on the edges of this spacious yard. The few onlookers wear working clothes suitable for their hard labor. They're carrying tools, planks, and logs. You're next to a large building of unusual shape, either a temple or a house of gathering. It makes you think of a cabin that's been getting larger over the course of the years, with the section in the middle being darker and more crude than the outer ones. A slightly overweight man is standing in front of the building with open arms. Welcome to Creeks, friend. His voice and eyes are gentle, but there's vigor in his stance and gestures. Ephron was meant to hunt, but I see he brought not one but 2 unusual creatures. The hunter rolls his eyes. Don't embarrass us with this prattle. He raises his voice and fills it with bitterness, addressing no soul in particular. And maybe ask someone to help us with this ibex. It's our shared catch. He points at you. Now I want to know to whom we are grateful. Ayla nods towards you. While I introduce myself, I observe him more closely. Oh, you know what's coming up. You know what's about to happen. Hell yeah. All right. Before we do that, being close to 30 years old, he's one of the older souls around. Just like the other villagers, he has clothes made of animals, not plants. The leather pants and jacket are humble, but the shoulder cape reaching from his neck to elbows used to belong to a yellow elk. His brown skin is darker than that of a farmer, and as you look at the outreached hands, they carry the marks of being cut by tools. And I'm Eli the carpenter. He takes a step towards the fruit trees and invites you to move forward. Like most men in the village, he's cleanly shaved. How about I show you the rest of the village? It may be humble, but it is as beautiful as a blue starling. All right, let's crack some wise here. Let's tell a joke. Oh, I already had an opportunity to see some of your beauties. And also, yeah, all right. It takes a moment before Ela figures out what you mean, but Ephron's laughter is enough of a hint. The carpenter puts a hand on his bulging stomach and playfully taps his fingers. Aye, the youth wanted to be longed for, but don't find many adventures in their small group. Our older generations see them as our offspring, not bedfellows. At least the blood crossing isn't an issue yet. I swear, interrupts the hunter, I'm not carrying this ibex to the kitchen. Someone call the cooks. After dropping the carcass on the ground, he springs away, fretting at the blood on his hands. Let's take a stroll then, says Ela, as he leans you forward. Your mount can drink at the creek here. All right, come, Danger. You tether your mount to a tree next to drying laundry. Ela points at the land behind the bridge proudly. Our newest addition to the village. The hunters grow old, so we are taking steps away from meat and fruits. You spot only 2 people working in the field, or rather a large garden covered with cabbages, carrots, onions, and garlic, indistinguishable from the wild plants growing in the woods. On the path between the 2 halves of the field, an elderly woman is sitting on a stool looking in your direction, as if you're interrupting her contemplation. Old Hava there will turn this place into a proper farm one day. She has little strength but keeps precious memories of her trade. I speak quietly. She seems austere. Ephron snorts, holding his laughter. Just be happy you haven't grown under her. I'm lucky to have my ears after all the pulling and pinching. Okay, so is Ela the hunter? I already forget. Because then, like, sometimes it just refers to... Are we among 3 people here? I don't know. I guess I'll just keep doing similar voices until I see the hunter said. Don't overcolor. She cares a lot. Ela invites you with a gesture to follow him deeper into the village. At least about the quiet, children. Just let her do the talking. The fewer things you say, the fewer reasons for her to get upset. Yeah, I know the type. The bonfire spot is surrounded by logs that were cut into tables and stools. Ela approaches the nearest chair, rubbing its back with his cut hands. When we share a meal, we do it here, and sometimes beneath the stars. You'd have to see it. The flame dances on the walls to the monster roars and crickets. Ephron's voice also grows in enthusiasm. Dining at the edge of the forest is something you wouldn't forget, unless you can drink. Don't swallow anything stronger than spoiled ibex milk. The shadows, friend. Terrifying. You glance over the wooden buildings. While the walls seem fine, the roofs are primitive, mostly made of planks that are already soggy and bent. There are a few people working on cleaning bark from a log, but the square is mostly quiet, with a few kids observing you from above their toys. Alright, let's see. Burning such fires must take a lot of wood. A bit of a fire hazard, isn't it? I imagine what such dinners would be like. One big family. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. All right. We'll go with that kind of thing. I imagine what such dinners would look like. One big family. One big cult family. Hila flashes you a disarming white smile. Yeah, a huge one. We don't have any rooms to spare. He looks at the children as they return to their crude wooden toys. They don't realize yet how small our home is. They've hardly seen anyone from the world outside, and the trade occurs at Foggy Lake. And good for them, the hunter chips in. They don't miss much. Other than spouses, we have everything we need. And so far, we have plenty of fresh meat. Some of us even too much. He smirks at the carpenter, who in response turns and walks away. I follow. You stand between two of the houses in front of the gate of an animal pen. The walls are made of sharpened trunks and are tall as two humans. The captured beasts are tethered by ropes, but have enough freedom to wander and graze. Two brown boars and a black mouflon, aka sheep. Thank you, Dog Nozzle. And here are our captives, Ephron declares proudly. I know it's still a bit empty, but we'll crowd it just before winter. All right. Oh, let's see here. Are the ropes really enough to keep them here? Can't they chew through them? Or are you going to care for them in winter? Yeah, but what about the ropes? Can't they chew through them? Both men look at the animals with a renewed curiosity. Well, the hunter starts, if they can free themselves from a hemp rope, then squeeze through the stakes, and while no soul sees them, and then get to freedom again, I'd say they deserve to do so. Hila leans against the gate and points at the area behind the palisade. The mouflon may disappear, but the boars would be stuck on this plateau. Have you noticed the old forest, friend? I look north. The vast clearing is returning to life with shrubs spread between the paths and tree stumps. You move to the bridge, then a gateway, and have a chance to look around. We can see the edge of our world from a watchtower, Elon narrates sublimely. In the long distance, the plateau ends surrounded by cliffs. Ye either climb up the mountains or fall to your death. Well, that doesn't sound like a very fun option. Both men tell you about the difficult past of the village, a desperate camp, then a cabin, then two, shifting into wooden walls as more and more trees were cut. Without tree crowns, we can walk with no shadows, beast dens, gargoyle eyes, concludes the carpenter. All right, let's see what our two options here are. Is it really better than a forest garden? It would produce much more food, and now I only see berries. Or, I'm surprised that the wrath of the herd hasn't smitten you yet. These pointed sticks won't stop a unicorn. Well, that seems a little meaner than the other one. Maybe we won't go with that. Is it really better than a forest garden? It would produce much more food, now I only see berries. You hit the heart of our worries, friend, Hila admits and is interrupted by the hunter quick. Okay, so Ephron must be the hunter then. And I assume Hila is the carpenter. There aren't 4 people here with us. Okay, so I guess I'll go with that assumption with my dumb, stupid voices. If I can, you know, even remember 2 seconds from now. Let's see. You hit the heart of our worries, friend, Ela admits, and is interrupted by the hunter quickly. We did what we had to do to push away the beasts. They don't feel safe here and don't seek food on the shrubs as they would trees. Ela tells you there's one more thing to see, and as you walk away, he returns to the matter at hand. The animals keep their distance now, at least in the meadows, so hunting for them gets difficult, and meat with hardly any mushrooms and herbs gets bland. A forest garden would solve the problem, sure, but we don't know enough to even start one, hence a field of berries. He taps his stomach. First, we need to learn how to feed our children. We lack strength and skill. Ephron looks at you. But we have time. All right, I nod. With time comes opportunity, or I frown. We never have as much as we want. I mean, both could be true. But we'll continue being nice. I nod. With time comes opportunity. You reach the edge of the village, a cliff as tall as the wall. Beneath you, two creeks meet each other and form a gentle river. These are the trees we used to learn more about woodwork. Ela is smiling as he leans his back against the wall of the house. We plant new ones, but we'll soon have to bring wood from further away. Give the saplings a few years, or however long they grow. A decade? And this is where I leave the two of you with your boring tree talks. Ephron points at you. See me later if you need. I'll be around. I rarely hunt alone. The carpenter watches his departing companion with genial eyes. Well, there's work to be done. A new chair awaits me. He leads you to a humble working station placed at the edge of the square. The tools you notice are very simple, if not primitive. We don't have to talk about my trade, Vertigo. What brings you to us? Oh, all right. We got our bunch of options here. All of our many options. Okay. Oh yeah, we should be warning all the other settlements about Old Pagos. Old Pagos is suffering from a plague. The village is isolating itself from outsiders. He freezes, puts away his tools, then looks at you with wide eyes. Wait for a bit, will you? Without waiting for your response, he springs up and knocks down a few planks as he lurches away, asking his neighbors to call the entire tribe. People surround you, asking what's going on, and once the news spreads, you answer dozens of questions, though most of what you have to say could be summed up with, I'm not sure. Aside from the... Excuse me. Aside from the worried faces, there are also more pragmatic ones. Hunters mention that they won't be able to deliver their autumn pelts, while one of the farmers wonders about her cousin. She was always so pious, she says with an accent you remember from Old Pagos. May the rites reward her prayers, or else. Wow, you tell the right. Wow, that was quite a reaction to mentioning Old Pagos. Yeah, the entire town had to get involved here. But I suppose that's a quicker way to do it than it slowly spreading through town. After some time, the crowd pays you little attention. Yeah, we do stink still. We do smell like a pile of shit. Appearance 0 out of 5. All right, and Ela leads you back to his workshop. They and I will discuss this later, he says with an absent voice, then sits down and glances at his neighbors. I've heard about the bandits. Have they caused you any troubles? He makes an awkward cut with a chisel and lets out a quiet shit, then starts to rub the plank with his thumb. Bandits, you say? Soldiers from the city have already taken care of them. Alright, he pretends that there are no bandits in the north. I need to gain his trust. Okay, so he's got the bandits, ignorance is bliss kind of thing going on. Probably not smart. Probably not smart at all. Hey, is Asterion around? He halts his work and looks at you with an exaggerated frown, rather. That's a weird question. You're the first Roadwarden I've seen, well, this season, I think. Did you check in the western villages? You'll get to Howler's Dell simply by staying on the road. Okay, that's good to know. We can stay on the road, get to Howler's Dell, knock that out. Bandits? What bandits? Ain't no bandits. No bandits around here. Oh, what was that Simpsons monorail thing with that old lady? There ain't no bandits here and there never were, or whatever. Let's see. People say that Asterion has spent a lot of time in your village. You're hiding something. He adjusts his shoulder cape and clears his throat with a grunt. People, eh? Well, there's some truth to that, but Asterion isn't here. And we don't know where he is. He took our coins, but for fair labor. He moved wares to other settlements, patrolled the roads, escorted an old woman to a druid and back. Did you know you can get good prices for iron at Howler's Dell, but even better at White Marshes? Seeing your look, he turns away and rests his elbow on his workbench. His plans are his own problem, and I've no reason to believe he wanted to be found, nor can I help you. All right. Nobody wants to trust us yet. And we got 36 days to get someone to trust us. Come on. Someone's got to trust us. This village isn't much older than you are. What's its story? He proudly raises a carving knife and gestures for you to look around. It may be a young village, but there's a lot to say. While his story is bloated with names, relationships, a step-by-step description of the growth of the settlement, and bothersome creatures, you get the gist of it. The settlers arrived here 25 years ago, soon after one of the 10 cities had fallen to the southern invasion. Most of them came from the capital, while some joined them along the way. They soon came to realize that none of the villages had enough space or the will to host a few dozen refugees. The folks of Gale Rocks used to have a much kinder attitude towards strangers than they do now, and they offered the newcomers to stay at the beach behind their village. Yet, there was nothing for them to eat other than what they caught in the salt waters. They soon started their search for a land remote enough to not compete with the locals, and with the help of kind folks from Gale Rocks, White Marshes, and Old Pagos and others, as Ela vaguely states, they received enough wood and tools to turn a scrap of this plateau into a clearing, then a camp, a hamlet, and finally a village. These are some pretty enigmatic reactions to our questions. Yeah, they sure are. Alright, I try to pay attention. The tale is assisted by walking around the village, introducing you to the original settlers or their offspring, and showing you some of the treasures displayed in the House of Gatherings. A unicorn's horn found at the heart of the woods, a blue rock that's shaped and hollow like an egg and is darker inside, an arrow that hit a fright tape in an eye and knocked it down. Behind each of them, there are names, stories, and memories. At the very end, Ela leads you back to his workbench, holding a hand on his conspicuous stomach. To give his throat some rest, he turns the topic around. And what are the folks in Havlovin like, friend? Foggy says there are thousands of souls at the capital, and one can go their entire life still finding new faces in the crowd. Well, I mean, you know, that's a big city. Oh, geez. Okay. We got 5 options here. We can either say, it may be so, but my city feels lonely. There are many people around, but all of them are too busy with their duties to share their lives with others. Or, people spend time with their families and close friends, especially ones they work with. They are close to each other, but no soul knows what happens behind doors. In the evenings, the streets feel empty. That's kind of like real life right there. Third option, it's hard to get to know new people when everyone's so busy, but kids spend a lot of time together and build long-time friendships. Okay, yeah, that's kind of like real life too, at least until they graduate from high school and or a university, and everybody kind of moves on. Sometimes. Let's see, 4th option. One can easily find groups to hang out with. People shop together, work, take baths, pray, and when one has nothing to do in the evening, they just go outside and seek company. It's not easy to build a strong friendship, though. And finally, hard to say, the merchants are getting richer, the priests have their games, craft guilds decide who goes in and out, and the workers have to compete. There are no monsters on the street, at least not every day, but there is distrust in many souls. Oh man, all right. I don't know, I kind of like the description in this second one. People spend time with their families and close friends, especially ones they work with. They are close to each other, but no soul knows what happens behind doors. In the evenings, the streets feel empty. Here, folks stay inside only to sleep or shag, and even that's not a rule. He adjusts his shoulder cloak and smiles. That's the only way I know, but I likes it. All right, how are we doing now? What? We got a lot of time, 10 hours and 15 minutes before dusk. Not bad at all. I'd like to learn more about the peninsula. Our tribe won't be much of a help there, he admits while judging the harsh surface of a small plank. It was our parents who did all the traveling, and they did so while we were kids, or not yet born. Most of them are already gone, and most of us travel no farther than to Foggy's, and only when we have to. What do you think about Ephron? He gives you a surprised look. I care for him deeply. He's brave and has a big heart, but both of our pasts were rough. I don't think you need to hear about them. I've heard you had some issues with the Eastern Path. At first he gives you a bright smile, but then nods with a sigh. Aye. So our issues are so clear that folks gossip on them? I'm glad you came to help, friend, but it doesn't feel right to admit we need help from an outsider. All right. Calm down. He stands up slowly, walks away, and leaps over one of the log-made tables and looks for something in the pile of wood. In this part of the land, there's always going to be something to do for a Roadwarden. He straightens up with a piece of charred wood in his hand and gets back to you. As he draws black lines on the workbench, he mentions a few names. Creeks, Foggies, Gale Rocks there. Here's the lake. The map is simplistic and doesn't align with your own understanding of local distances, but you follow his description without issues. The path from here to the south is getting too wild for us, he repines, making another few strokes. The merchants travel through the other route, through Holler's Dell, passing by Old Pagos and White Marshes. Once they reach Foggy, they already have full stomachs and many deals closed. And when they travel back, they visit the same places again. Folks already know that trading here takes a long time. Alright, so you want me to give them an option to get to you first and move west without backtracking, and do so all by myself. How exactly? Well, I'm sure you can find some help. He pats his stomach without noticing that he leaves a few black dots on his leather jacket. There's a few things you could do. Follow the eastern road and see if it's clear. Are there any safe shelters left? Any blockades to get rid of? Is there an overgrown path to burn? Maybe see if the road from here to the western crossroads is safe. Or if the carts could get through the heart of the woods, if you're brave enough. I hope you're a soul with a sage judgment. Seeing your puzzled look, he rests his palms on the table with a shy smile. I know I'm vague, but I bet you already know more about these roads than I do, friend. His eyes return to the map, and after a moment of hesitation, he rubs an uneven line with his thumb. Hey. Buddy, Ela, you forgot to mention my pay. That depends on what you're about to do, aye? The tribe has but a few dragons. To confirm his words, he enters the nearby house, from which he picks up an old wooden case, crude in shape, with a unsightly engraving of a three-headed hydra on its lid. Inside it, you see maybe 24 dragon bones. Let's say you'll get a dragon for any news about cleared or blocked areas, and more if it takes real effort from you. Alright, our options are, so you want me to act first and pick up my reward after. You're playing with my patience. How can you know if I'll be honest with you? Where would you like me to start? Wouldn't it be better for you to put work into the western road? You could split the labor with the other settlements. Yeah, we have a deal. Maybe we'll try this one first. Wouldn't it be better for you to put work into the western road? You could split labor with the other settlements. They can't be trusted, especially some of them. He crosses the western side of his map with a long, thin line. Even a paved route would force merchants to add a day of pointless travel to their plans. And that's a big loss in their trade. Having our path clear gives everyone more options and more convenience. All right, we have a deal. He flashes you a wide smile and pats his stomach. You won't regret this. He then throws away the charred wood, returns to his stool, and looks for his tools. All right. Oh, what is the dusk foxes at the shelter in the west are a bit of a problem, and I still need to look inside the ruined shelter in the west. Okay. So this village doesn't get along with those to the west. Makes me wonder if maybe they're the bandits. Maybe. Yeah, we got bandit shelter, and then old Pagos is just like completely shut down. They're not gonna send anyone out to help. All right, I'll let you know if there's anything else. He leans against the table, sweating, and these days are getting shorter, aye? Let's see. I imagine being a carpenter in this part of the realm isn't easy. You have a healthy imagination. He rests his elbow on the workbench and smiles. I have patience, and I'm getting better with tools. And these are some shoddy tools, he says singingly, and it's hard to disagree with him. They have been used for many years, with only the wooden parts being somewhat in shape since they seem to have been recently replaced. The steel chisels and saws are jagged and dull. The hammers and axes are made of stone. Some of them were brought here by the settlers, and we can't buy any more right now. There's work to be done, but I do have a plan. You ask him to explain, and he's all too eager to do so. He enters the nearby house and shows you his more successful works, each of which has some shortcomings, noticeable even to a layperson. A bowl engraved with a fish was poorly planned, with animals too large to fit into the entire space, and so a part of it is blank. A simple relief of two naked people
Wow!
in their embrace looks almost believable, but the legs are in one case too long and in the other too short. One chair has a broken leg, and the remaining three show that they are a bit too ambitiously shaped and got dangerously thin. The chest seems fine, but equipment sticks out of it, and the man acknowledges that he wrongly estimated the required size. So, you want to be an artist? Better. I want to turn pots, cups, weapons, cupboards, everyday stuff into things of beauty. Seeing your look, he pats his stomach. I know I'm far from mastering it, but trust me, these are so much better than the ones I did this winter, and I started only 3 years ago. His pride makes him look even larger, especially in the shoulders. There aren't many carpenters in the peninsula. Folks do things for their own use, but I'll be a specialist. It's the city thing. Foggy told me so. Not just a jointer, but someone who does only a few things, but better than others. The tribe supports me with food and time, and I'll pay them back with dragon bones and prettier houses. When he leads you outside, you start to share some of his excitement, but most of it dwindles away after you sit down at his workbench again, on wobbly stools surrounded by broken planks and crude tools. Oh, yes. Okay. This is how we can get into that one area. I need a wooden lantern, one useful for an adventurer. Dreaming of caves and treasures? He glances at the nearest pile of planks. I should have some glue and leather to spare, but making a lantern would take me half a day, and I've got a lot of sawing ahead. He points at a broken chair behind him with his thumb. Maybe another time. He refuses to work on a lantern for me. Oh, you jerk. You jerk. I need that lantern, buddy. Alright, I'll see you later. Danger is walking around the tree as far away from it as its cord allows, and 10 hours before dusk. Alright, you know what? Let's approach the shallow creek. Maybe we can have a nice bath and get some kind of an appearance back. With the calming sounds of the waterfall around you, you observe the stream as clean as a spring. The oak ash soap you own is not enough to help you get cleaner. I won't get any cleaner here. My clothes need no washing. Well, let's jump into the stream anyway. Well, let's go for a swim at least. There are no fish or plants to bother with, and your feet find mud among the not always smooth pebbles. The water reaches above your waist, allowing you to have some fun and wash every spot of your shell. Thanks to the gentle flow, you are able to remove the mud stains from your clothes and boots. All right, I step away. We got one appearance back. People are hesitant to trust you. You won't get much cleaner without a proper bath. Your clothes are torn and worn. Yeah, we help these guys out and they won't even help us with a lantern. Bunch of ingrates. Yeah, come on. All right, let's go talk to old Hava, the farmer. You follow the path between the fields, witnessing a one-sided conversation between old Hava and a barely adult man. She orders him around, pointing at various plants, criticizing the sight of weeds, and addressing the fancy clothes he's wearing. He observes his red-dyed boots and lets out a relieved sigh after your arrival. I better change, he mumbles, heading to the main square. I step out of his way. The woman spares you a wry glance, then turns away, focused on the struggling vegetables. She's the only person in the village who wears clothes made of plant fabric, but they're weathered and covered with decades-old patches. Her hands clasped behind her back are constantly twitching. Well, I know we were told by either the carpenter or the hunter that we should, speak our words to old Hava, like quickly, to the point. But what better way to break the ice than a little joke? Just a little bit of a joke. Everybody likes jokes. Everybody likes to laugh. I mean, this is a tough world we're living in here. A little laughter never hurt anyone. Here we go. Youth, huh? Back in my day. Give it up for our Roadwarden comedian, everybody! Woo! After another minute, you consider leaving, but she finally breaks the silence. You'd be crying in bed like a tot if you had seen the things I did at your age. Mock my years, I'm proud of them. She turns towards you and raises her shaking hands. My soul's still here, but fog is crawling into my shell. Yet you waste my time, stranger. Oh my god. That might be the weakest attempt at a joke yet. we just come rolling in here to this old lady who we were told to only speak directly with her and to the point, and we mock her age. Oh my god. Say, I'm looking for a place to sleep. We need another hut, and we have no space for it. She gazes at you with dry, tired eyes. If you need a scrap of floor, go to the tavern. All right, what do you got for sale, old Hava? We sold what we had. We're lacking hunters, and these, she looks at the wrinkled vegetables, will go into a stew if they're even worth picking. Without noticing it, she grabs her left forearm with her right hand, but it doesn't stop the twitching. We always have a fish trap to spare. We make them just in case. A large basket. Put it in a creek and wait a day or two until something swims inside. I'll sell you one for 2 dragon bones. Well, we found one a very long time ago, but I forgot where I put it. So I assume it's lost forever. And if you'd rather eat something right away, she carries on after a short pause, our cooks would spare you a roast grouse or a chicken. It'll be cold but fresh. We always have one. You never know when there are maggots in your supplies, and kids shouldn't skip a meal. You ask her to tell you more, but her patience grows thin. It's the best light roast in the north. We add plenty of spices to it so it spoils slowly. That's it. Fine, show me how this trap works. Alright. Oh, we could buy a roast chicken. I currently have 0 of them. Maybe we'll avoid that for now. I don't expect many merchants to reach this place. Why don't you move your traps to Foggy's? What is it to you? She doesn't wait for your response. Does her yard look like it has space for nets? I met some annoying howlers. Do you have any earplugs? Her shoulders flinch. But will that work? They can break the skull of a deaf shell. After you shrug, she looks at one of the farmers who's wearing a mouflon fur. Give me something good to eat, and I'll give you a few tufts of thick wool. Excuse me. Put them into your ears, then wear them. Then wear them under a tight hood. How about some wild fruits and greens? She nods and orders the farmer to bring her a knife. We'll need more seeds anyway. After a few minutes, you hold a new pair of earplugs. All right. I don't know how that's gonna help us, but... Okay, all right. Farewell. Let's see, 9 hours, 45 minutes before dusk. I guess we'll go back to Ephraim the hunter. Yeah, well, it wasn't free earplugs. We had to give up a little bit of our food, which oh yeah, we only got one, and then no actual rations, only 3 dragon bones. Oh boy. Oh shit. Okay. I forgot, I wonder who would buy a dragon. I forgot that we had the dragonling's paw. Alright, let's go back to Ephraim here. He raises an eyebrow, then the wolf's head, as if to see you better. Hey, what do you think about Ela? He repeats your question, making sure he heard correctly, then scratches the wolf's head. I respect him. He took good care of me as an older brother. He's boring, you know that, and hides a lot behind those smiles of his. He spends days in the workshop thinking we may be both as weak as we are now and smart enough to prosper. There's work to be done. He mimics the carpenter's cadence. Aye, there always is. You want to ask him about the weakness, but he gives you no time to speak. There's almost no folks from the older generations left. Oh wait, oh, nope, that's his line. There's almost no folks from the older generations left, did you notice? Foggy and Old Hava are the only 2 still capable of doing work. But they aren't getting any younger, and are already wounded. You think about the tavern keeper's lost arm. We were always lacking in numbers, blades, tools, and skills. The beast took many souls, but Ela won't talk about it. He'd rather forget them and tie this place to the other villages, making us merchants and rotten carpenters. He adjusts his cloak, boiling from frustration. Then risk the lives of the younger tribesfolk on training and hunting. We've suffered so much, yet we're becoming even weaker. He calms himself down with silence. Are you the only hunter around? But of course not. There's... He takes a suspiciously long pause. 7 of us. The tribe is small. We have enough food without daily trips. If we catch too much meat, it spoils. So it's better to let the animals feel safe. You try to change the topic, but the man suddenly looks around and lowers his wolf's head. Well, there's just one issue. 3 of my friends left the village just a few days ago, and they haven't returned yet. But they should. Ela is going to ask questions, and soon. Aren't you worried about the other hunters? He walks around from time to time, looking at you with an open mouth, not sure how to start. He takes off his heavy cloak and looks you in the eyes. They left for a few days to seek and kill some big game. Each of them a different one, then bring all of them for me to judge. His confident voice falters when he mentions his own part. The winner would have caught me the prey of the greatest size, rarity, utility, and of the greatest threat. He turns away and lowers the wolf's mouth. Alright, tell me about those three. They are hunters and fighters, but also close friends. If one of them was in trouble, the other would have done all they could do to help. They've been a team for years and were planning to start a family this winter, you know? Their last big adventure before Dahlia's belly locks her at home. He gives you quite a tale of their deeds and features. Dahlia is the bravest of them with strong legs. She has simple ways and looks for beasts in the open by the roads. Her hair is light, always tied in a single braid. Admon is a man who seeks paths and challenges. He believes that seeking knowledge of the peninsula will bring the tribe ways to survive hardships. He is smaller than the others and knows more about dressing the wild game than any of us. His arms are small, so he often places traps. His hair is a bit darker than Dahlia's, but short just like his beard. Vashel is not a man, though they were born... Alright, let me try that one again. Vashel is not a man, though they were born with a prick, and wears browns and greens to blend in with the trees. They hunt like a gargoyle, hiding among leaves, jumping at the creature when it gets close. Because of that, they have often roamed in the woods, even those that are far away from the village. Let's see. Alright, where should I start? He looks at you as if you're slow. I would have found them myself if I knew. Let the horse take you to the other settlements. Ask there. Alright, let's say I were to find them. What should I tell them? Have you no shred of optimism? Maybe they're fine. Just tell them to come home. We've got enough wood and food to start the next feast. And I have a hint that an honorable guest may be welcome there. He smiles at you, and for a moment, you think you see the wolf's head wink. Does your tribe often send lone hunters? Why not work in groups? This isn't a hunt, but a competition. The winner names their first child. I've heard their arguments. You wouldn't believe how hard it is to pick a name when you have 3 parents. He chuckles to himself. Once the memory fades, he gets serious again. But I can't disagree with you, friend. It's the first time in many years since my tribesfolk have gone on such a reckless trip. And I fear it may remind us why the peninsula isn't a place for adventures. Alright, this sounds serious, but if you want me to look for him, I still deserve a reward. Isn't helping 3 young, strong souls enough? Seeing your look, he raises his voice, draws his obsidian-edged club, and touches his chest with it. Then I will loyally assist you, friend. For your brave deeds, you may count on me on a day of great challenge. As he lowers his weapon, he winks at you, and others will be grateful as well. You know that. Alright, I'll tell you if I find anything. Thanks, friend, and if all you have is a tale of their dead shells, bring me something to prove it, a trinket, a weapon, a thing we can throw into a pyre. Oh, okay, yeah, we have this does this rawhide belong to your tribe? He gives it only a glance, then throws it away. I think so? After you describe where you found it, he reaches towards the wolf's head, but doesn't touch it. Me and the other hunters go to this place in spring. When there's fewer beasts around, sit on blankets. He points at the hide. Eat before the hunt. Maybe you'll find a trail there. Alright, I'll tell you if I find anything. He glances at a pigeon that's been sitting nearby and moves his hand towards his obsidian club. Do the hunters from pt.3 hinder your job? Nah, they only get closer when they chase after wounded prey. So our woods stay mostly the same. You could have another village twice our size. He glances towards the gate. Halfway from here to Pelt, and there would still be more than enough game for every belly, as long as they would forage and set up farms. You ask him if he's ever considered joining professional hunters, but he takes off his wolf's head and gives it to you so you can take a better look. It's weirdly warm from the sun. That's the only wolf any of us felled in the last 5 years, you see. Not that we're cowards. He suddenly raises his voice. Our trade just isn't like the big game hunters. I place fish traps, put glue to catch birds, shoot rocks at rats and rabbits. When in a group, we seek roe deer or aurochs. He takes the hat back and looks at it with nostalgia. Those in the inn seek trophies, not meat, so they hunt for big beasts, ones that, you know, fight back. Our ways are different, but I like that bunch. At least they smile, unlike others in the peninsula. Hunters will always find a common tongue. Once you see enough blood and guts, you have to laugh or go crazy. Alright. What do you know about the road running through the heart of the forest? I know to avoid it. Blood there. Seeing that you're waiting for a longer tale, he adjusts his heavy cloak, spending a good minute on making sure you understand it's a dangerous place. You'll do better riding around it. The northern road is the safest, he concludes. After you insist that any sort of guidance may be of use, he scratches the wolf's head. I've heard from a friend that gnolls were moving there. Those very small beast folks, you know? He moves an open hand close to his hips, portraying the height. They'll threaten you until you give them some meat. And that's all they eat. No fruits, no, I don't know, bones. But it's the fright apes that scare me the most, and there's an entire family of them. Trust me, if you ever hear the terrible scream of a human somewhere... In the tree crowns, run as fast as you can. Don't seek it, and certainly don't fight it. Just ride as fast as you can. Alright, I plan to help the foragers with catching a big runner. Any tips on how to approach this? So that's their scheme? He looks in the tavern's direction, pausing for a moment, then straightens up. Oh man, my voice. Let's see. Oh, so you're seeking advice from a more experienced hunter? He pats his club proudly. Well, there is the usual stuff. Don't fight hungry. Have a decent jacket. Be sure to have something to block a bird's charge. Oh, and maybe... He points at the sky, then stretches out his arms as if holding a long stick. A spear! The longer you keep a runner at distance, the better. Have you ever fought such a bird? Not yet, but I ran away from a few, and not everyone can say that. He lets out a burst of jaunty laughter. They are way too common at the edges of our woods, if you ask me. Ever since I met the first one, I jog. Maybe not every day, but almost. Alright, have a good hunting. Alright, so that's like everything. How do we... I know old Hava said... Alright, guess we can travel. Okay, so Creeks is there. Foggy Lake is there. All right, I guess let's try going south of Foggy Lake. We haven't done that. Oh, we can go north from Old Pagos. I didn't realize that when we were over there, I guess. We only got 9 hours. Okay, I guess maybe let's explore south of Foggy Lake, just so we're still kind of close to some place where we can go back to and sleep. And we do have more free food that we can get from Foggy. All right, the air is fresh, just as it was in the tavern. The light touches the roads and shrubs, blocked only by a single willow, wild and untrimmed. You're by a lake, too large for you to see its other bank, but the local soil isn't too fertile. There are only a few trees on the horizon, while the struggling bushes and grasses fight with layers of rocks. In the south you see uninviting hills cut with tiresome roads. A gray rabbit is cleaning its fur near the brook, but the sound of hooves make it hop towards the nearest shrub. Right after it sinks into the leaves, you hear its squeal cut off quickly. Whatever its hunter was, it leaves behind only the rustling of a thicket and a trail of blood. You wait for a long minute with your hand on your axe, but the creature doesn't return. You relax a bit, then turn toward the stone statue of a young woman. And we probably should save. All right, I ride close, a bit closer to it. Here's the statue right there, middle left. Such a monument would be a better fit for a temple or a rich city folk's house. Here, without any cover, it's already losing its shape from the rains and dust. Chunks of the face and hair have already broken off. It has detailed eyes and human-like proportions, and the clothes are like fabric petrified by a spell. The statue carries the usual traveling equipment: a walking staff, a gambeson, simple pants, now covered by leaves. Yeah, it's a shame to see it deteriorating. You observe its delicate face and the broken fingers, the last bits of which still hold the staff. You wonder why someone would place such a thing here. All right, let's see. It may be a statue of a long-gone hero. It was made in the likeness of a person who placed it here. She wanted to be remembered. She welcomes the travelers heading to the sea. Someone had to drop it after their wagon broke. I think it marks a place of great importance. I shrug. All that matters is that it's pretty. Yeah, it could be a long-gone hero. Could be someone had it crafted for themselves. Maybe she is welcoming travelers to the sea. Or yeah, maybe it used to be a place of great importance that has now kind of been lost to time. I think I'll go with that. I think it marks a place of great importance. There are no answers to find in the statue's absent eyes. I could get rid of these branches, clear the space in front of the statue. What for? All right, let's see our options. There may be something valuable hidden beneath it. The locals may appreciate someone looking after their relics. I want to make it clear that there's a new Roadwarden around, someone who cares. The statue may represent an ancestor of one of the local families. It ought to be protected. I don't know, someone should do this. Yeah, let's it may represent an ancestor of a local family. It should be protected. You dismount and approach the bushes. You try to push them away, but their stems are thick and healthy, crowded with insects and spider webs. Thankfully, you see no thorns, and the touch of a leaf doesn't make your finger itchy. All right, in about half an hour, I could use my axe to cut the bushes and twigs. What is this? I don't possess any potion that could help me here. I wonder what that would do. All right, let's axe these twigs and bushes. You tether danger to the tree, letting it choose between drinking, grazing, and napping. You prepare your equipment, keeping an eye on the bush where you saw the rabbit's last moments. You use your weight to move the plants to one side, then cut right above the ground. The stems are healthy and flexible, so getting through them is rough, but you have enough strength to deal with them in a couple of minutes and then throw them into the lake. The work goes on for a bit, but once you're done, the statue stands in its former glory. A couple of old offerings are still on the pedestal: polished rocks, bone figurines, and moldy bowls and plates that used to store food. In one vessel, you see a dragon bone. It's dark and could be older than a generation, but it would surely be accepted by any merchant. Yeah, we need a special anti-twig and bush potion. Okay, so we can either steal this coin offering or leave it behind. We are very low on money, but this is a fantasy world. I think stealing the offering would be really, really bad. So I think we'll leave it there. This coin was left here for a good reason. I should leave it behind. You return to danger. I don't care anymore. I take the coin. No, we're all right. Let's see if we can wash in the stream. The brook would hardly cover your feet, but you could sit on the pebbles and splash yourself with water. The oak ash soap you own can help you get cleaner. All right. Well, I won't get any cleaner here. Okay. We really need a regular bath. All right, I step away. I guess we're done here. It'd be a decent spot for a fish trap if I had one. Well, that's somewhere in the world. Oh shit! I didn't mean to go to foggy. Crap. All right, we got 7 hours. Let's keep going kind of southeast a little bit here. The valley is flanked by the hills. To the west, the grasses and bushes blend into the horizon and turn into another part of the forest. The southern hills are gray and tall, with fortress-like rock faces and a crown of conifers. The northern ones have countless sand-colored rocks lumped together like piles of rubble and clay, bearing hardly any soil or weeds. The plants here are struggling. The grass is short and yellowish, sometimes dried out. The bushes have silver leaves like many plants from sunny areas. The mushrooms can't hide in the shadows, but as you approach one, you see it's growing from the remains of a dead bird, while others are covering old branches and other plants. they won't last much longer. Didn't we have a fish trap at one point? We sure did. I found an area to put it and did not remember how to even be able to get back there again. So if we caught anything, it's probably long gone, because it said, oh, you know, come back in a day or so, but don't wait too long. And it's been well, we're on day 4, so you know, maybe it has been 3 days. All right, it will be easy to spot any larger beasts around. You have to squint to spot the first threatening creature. A runner is in the far east, close to the hills, though it completely ignores you, walking around and observing the grass, looking for its next prey. You don't have to worry about it for now. Poor fish trap, it's out there waiting for us. Maybe we'll eventually find it. Maybe. If we do, we should probably come back to the statue lady. That seemed like a good little fish trap area. There are boot prints on the road as well as in the short grass, fresher than even on the western roads. Since many mushrooms were cut away with a knife, you notice few berries on the shrubs. You conclude it's a foraging spot for the people from the north, though there doesn't seem to be much food left. There are almost no prints leading farther south. Yeah, let's try to forage for a bit. You let danger keep itself busy while you walk around looking for anything edible. It takes a fair bit of time. You don't plan to carry around raw mushrooms and bugs, and the wild vegetables need to be washed before you put them in your bags. You finally find a few handfuls of plants, fruits, and nuts. Next time, however, it's not going to be so easy, especially since the runner, a bird both taller and wider than you, observes you carefully, at first from a distance, then circling around you. After about a half an hour, you hear its piercing screech. As the creature runs at you, shaking a beak larger than your head, you throw everything into a sack and get in the saddle. Alright, I should avoid this place while the beast is hanging around. Alright, let's take a look at our inventory. Alright, we got our food back up to 3. Or at least the wild plants, not very filling. You know what? How is our nourishment is very low. Maybe we should have one. See if it at least gives us a point in that. Oh, I can't use my inventory right now. Oh, probably because we're being chased by the fucking runner. All right. Let's keep going southeast. We got chased off by a bird. Yeah, we sure did. All right. Before we do any of this, can we eat? You can't use your inventory right now. All right. The only tracks in sight belong to small critters. The cabin has no window, but a stubborn beast could easily burst in through the old thatch. The gust of wind doesn't move the door. A curious ibex observes you from the crag, but flees from your gaze. All right, let's check on the cabin. You tether danger to the supporting beam. Its curious eyes are tracking the crickets that jump among the grass blades. You stretch your limbs, adjust your armor, and reach for the axe. Let's eavesdrop first. You sneak towards the door and crouch down. After maybe a minute, a quiet rattle comes from the inside. Something similar to the sound of cracking knuckles. You peek inside and just barely see a small part of the dusty room. A large spider web is spread among the knockdown furniture. All right, Do monsters crack their knuckles, or would this just be a human that we may have heard inside? Probably should save. Probably should save. All right. I may need my crossbow. I grab my axe and get inside. I should leave. There's a spider in there cracking its knuckles. Oh my god. Be terrifying. Alright, I may need my crossbow. You remove its protective case and plant the stirrup on the ground. You take a deep breath, pull the string until it locks, then load the quarrel. I walk in and aim at anything that moves. A spider looks at you from the center of the web. Its shell is larger than your head. Dog Nozzle, you were fucking right. And the thin legs are longer than your arms. Its countless hair blends in with the walls. They're brown, gray, cream. What do you do? Oh, let me think. What do you try to... Oh my god, I have to fucking type this in now? See, you thought I was joking. Oh, fuck. Shoot spider with crossbow. I don't know what you mean. Do we have to be like more vague? Attack with crossbow. Shoot spider. Oh, what does it want? Talk to spider. Oh god, a text parser based combat system. Oh, what have we gotten ourselves into here? Speak to spider. Spider. All right, it did say kick was an idea. Kick spider. I don't know. Or do we just like type like one word, like shoot? Oh, okay, okay. You aim while the spider skitters off, shaking the entire web. You pull the trigger but fail to avoid the creature's spit. The sticky ooze hits your eyes, covering them like a glued cloth. The sack of flesh smacks the floor. It clicks in agony. Your eyelids can't even blink. You drop the crossbow on the floor, then sit on the threshold blindly. Yeah, maybe we should do it gently. I remove it gently, bit by bit. The saliva clings to your skin, but stretching it with your fingers helps. The eyelids are the worst part, but you're grateful for your reflexes. At least you still have eyes. You get to see the light slowly, then the shapes. The thing turns out to be gray and white. You stand up and look around. The room is covered with a thick layer of dust. Getting through the web could be risky. A single thread won't stop you, but a bunch of them could grapple you for good. Okay, I can't search the building with the spider web around. Alright, our options. I drag the spider carcass away and throw it into the forest. I don't have much time. I light up a candle and melt the web. Someone could be interested in such a thick web. I spent an hour or so. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get something else we can sell and completely forget about selling them. You bring a twig from the outside and use it as a spool. You don't have much practice, and wearing the gloves makes the necessary gestures even more awkward. From time to time, the silk breaks, but it shouldn't be a problem for a tailor. It's a material for stitching and wouldn't be turned into a cloth anyway. You notice maybe a dozen defenseless spiderlings. They flee towards the exit with their speed limited by their tiny legs. They're smaller than a finger. All right, we can either trample them with our boots or they have the right to live. I'm sorry, everyone. I hate spiders. I do not like spiders. Spiders creep me out. They gross me out. They gotta go. They gotta go. They're gonna grow up to be big spiders like that trying to eat us. They gotta go. I trample them with my boot. On their death, they make a squish. All right. I searched the building. The chest hides a few old water skins and inedible stale rations. Among them, however, you find 2 quarrels for a crossbow. All right. This encounter, we got a net gain of 1 quarrel. Worth it? That's right. No mercy for spiders, even baby ones. They gotta go. I know spiders in real life supposedly do nice things like eating other bugs when you know, find them in your home, but no. You know, maybe if spiders could talk and we could have a diplomatic discussion, you know. You stay over there, you eat the other bugs, and you don't fucking descend from like right above in front of me and scare the shit out of me. Then we won't have a problem. All right, the bones have no obvious owner, but judging by their age and the lack of skull or human-like hands, you doubt they could be awoken by the fogs. The boots, rugged pants, and old sticky tunic and other scraps are cheap and hide no jewelry. The bowls and mugs are empty. All right, I drag the spider carcass away and throw it into the forest. All right, you put on your thick gloves and grab 4 spider legs at once. The corpse isn't heavy, so you drag it behind you. You reach the bushes at the edge of the road, then lift up the entire creature. The more you shake it, the more distracting the twitches of its legs get. You send it into a tree trunk. It sinks into the thicket, causing a bit of a rustle among the dwellers. All right, I guess there's not much else in the cabin. How are we doing on time? 2 hours and 15 minutes before dusk. Oh, okay, it's gonna take us 2 hours to get back to Foggy Lake, so yep. Day is over. Let's get back to Foggy Lake. All right, I enter the tavern. You smell food. There are empty bowls and mugs scattered around right next to a bucket with water. Foggy is resting on a chair, observing you with a single open eye. She welcomes you with a gentle nod. All right, let's see if she wants any of these couple of things that we have. I like how in this game we're basically like a medieval janitor, all cleaning up spider carcasses and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, we kind of are. That the Roadwarden really just seems like a loner fantasy world janitor, really. You know, cleaning things up, making sure people can, you know, make their way on the roads. Yeah, it is. Although I guess janitors don't really take odd jobs from so maybe it's like a mix between a janitor and a handyman. Taking random weird odd jobs from people. All right, let's see. I have some things I'm willing to part with. And I may be willing to buy them, love. All right, let's see. Okay, so the only things we're offering her are a berry picking hook or a jar of troll's urine. Let's see if she wants any of these. How about this? A beautiful berry picking hook. I don't need this, but that's a nice claw. She raises it to the beam of light. Pebblers? It must have lost it in the woods. I'd put it maybe there. She points at a shelf with her chin. 3 dragons, more than fair. All right, we can make three dragons. How are we on our dragons? We got 3 currently. We should be doing things to get money. All right, how about a jar of troll's urine? How much you willing to pay, Foggy, for this delicious jar of troll's urine? She narrows her eyes. Well, don't open it. I've seen it before in the hands of that wayfarer. She waves her hand. I'll give you 4 dragons. No more. Goblins are pests, but they stick to the south. Yeah, $3 is a lot in the game. And 4 dragon bones for this jar of piss. I mean, the tricky thing is we might actually need it later on. But I would also assume maybe because this is an RPG, maybe we could fight our way through or run away or something. Although I do really want to avoid where the 8 men would be, which I think are in like the deep forests, and then she says to the south also. I think I might just sell these, get some money. All right, deal. Here's the P. Oh yeah, that's right. The scavenger was going to give us 5 originally, but we went for the P. So it's I guess kind of a loss there, but oh well. Here you go. Here's the P, Foggy. I still may have a bone or 2, love. All right, let's just yeah, let's sell that. 3 dragons. Boom. Come back with something I could sell at a profit or maybe hang on the wall. You collect your belongings. All right, we got 10 dragon bones. We are rich. But we got to enjoy the piss jar for a while, so it was worth it in my IMHO. Yep, it was worth it. It was a very, very good companion in this RPG. All right, I'd like to eat. Let's see. Yeah, that's all the same stuff. All right, we ate. We are 3 out of 4 nourished. And let's go to sleep. Oh yeah, we don't really have any rations. So I guess we'll sleep in the main, or we'll have the uncomfy sleep in the main hall. It's a calm, warm night. As your first sleep ends, you stretch out and prepare yourself for an active hour or 2. It's time to take care of some things that must be done at least once every few days, though they are a bit more challenging than your nightly routine. It's time for my training. I practice cuts, stances, dodges, and steps, but also inspect every blade I own. It's an exhausting night. Danger keeps stepping in place or walking, taking only short naps. You can't count on how many times you try to calm it down with your voice, touch, and by offering it water or a snack, but nothing helps. You close your eyes for an hour or so in the late morning, then clean up after your mount. The stench alone is disarming. Foggy turns towards you and waits for you to speak. All right, wait, what did she have? Fresh meals, iron scraps. Yeah, maybe we could get like, it's 6 for the iron scraps, but you could probably get a lot more. I kind of want to buy more of these free meals. All right, there we go. That was only 1. We need another one. Get nourished. There we go. We're at 3 out of 4. All right, time for me to go. 12 hours, 30 minutes before dusk. Let's save. I don't know if the foragers are ready to hunt yet. I don't think it's been the 7 days. It's been like a day. It's really funny that our horse has to hang out inside with us. Yeah, it's really weird and it kind of sucks. All right, let's approach the foragers. All right, they wait for you to speak. Admin, Dahlia, and Vashel didn't return from their hunting trip. Did they share any plans with you? Why would they? Growls to Zivi. They don't waste our time. We don't bother with theirs. Hillen's eyes are a bit warmer. I don't remember the voice I had for anyone else here. Ephron already asked us. They ate there on the stairs, then left days ago. They didn't want to get in each other's way, so they planned to spread. That's all I know. Seeing your look, he spreads his arms in an awkward shrug. They were laughing, eating, all confident and strong. I didn't know they would disappear. You consider his words when the shorter man starts to snap his fingers. Wait. I heard one thing, something about, yeah, that they won't go north because of the dark magic in the tunnel. Ah, that's the tunnel we tried to get into, so there's dark magic in there. Then it's smart of them, concludes Ilan with a humble smile. Better than nothing, I'm sure they're fine. All right, they won't be ready to start the hunt for 5 more days. Okay. So Caius, your boss told me you have some sort of visions. He meets your eyes and straightens up, reaching out to you with his dirty hand. All right, I allow him. It rests on your shoulders, light like a bird. Your nose tells you that he hasn't washed in quite a few days. How can we tell? We're just 2 stink clouds colliding here. The right hears the prayers of the men, I mean of the 10 cities, all the tribes and the empress and priests, merchants, farmers. We thought things were lost, the glory behind us, punished by humiliation for our weak hearts. He starts to shake his stump. He starts to shake his stump a foot away from your face, but there's hope. His voice gets stronger with every heartbeat, and a wide smile shows up under his beard. The right's test is behind us, and we, the sinners, have failed it. Now are the days of atonement and of the new cities with new tribes and the cleansed land. We, you know, have to fix ourselves, change what we can, weed out our sins, and bring fresh hearts to the holiest soul carrier, and let them guide us anew with new tablets and prayers and a new church, the only church, yes. Just two stink clouds passing in the night. That's right. Does the heart icon mean we only have 1 hit point left? Yeah, I think so. And then it also is like when we use our special ability, it also consumes vitality, which is weird. Yep, we're barely standing. That's because we have been sleeping in a very, very bad place. Let's see. He steps in place, bursting with excitement. All the rivers will flow as one wave, and the new cities, the reborn city, will wipe out the barbarians. He spits on the ground and send them back into their chains. He points his hand south. We will come through the ashes reborn into a power greater than any fortress, than 1,000 dragons, than all the ships and armies. He steps back, lowering his head. I, the humble servant, was granted this vision. All right, buddy. Sure thing. Sounds legit. You're not crazy at all, buddy. Oh, let's see here. I'm not enthusiastic. That's great news. We can also lie about that. A nod, I see, or you're insane. This guy has some pretty creepy visions. Yeah, he really does. All right, let's just nod and say I see. He gives you a harsh glance, then walks away, nodding and raising his voice. Open your heart or the wave will take you too. Zivi presses a clenched fist to his lips, stopping himself from laughter, while Ilan looks at the prophet with concern. Don't push him any longer, friend. He told you all that is already. All right, let's walk away. All right, all right, we could keep going further south. Old Pagos, Ford. Where was... Oh, yeah, let's go back to Creeks. See if anyone wants to buy some stuff. Ela the Carpenter does not. Ephron the Hunter does not. Old Hava. Well, she has supplies. What were her supplies? Fish trap, roast chicken. All right, not much here. All right, well, we got one clean, but people are still hesitant to trust us. All right, let's wait a second. How many hours we got? 11. Okay, let's keep going north from Old Pagos. Let's hit that. The road is still covered with the peddler's leftovers, as well as all the leaves and branches on the ground, but at least the beast is nowhere in sight. Even though there are some fresh paw prints just nearby, your plan worked just fine. All right. Let's hope the locals won't be upset about the wasted fruits. You approach the raised drawbridge and observe the face of the mountain. The hooks holding the hourglass are as large as a person displaying their devotion to the right proudly. Let's see. It took tremendous wealth and labor. What a waste of steel. I wonder who's responsible for polishing it. The temples in the city are even grander. I forget what's a pebbler in this game. I don't remember the exact description, but it was like a big tall beast that was like a lot taller than we were, and like extremely powerful. Like if it like grabbed onto us, like it would just crush our bones into dust, basically. So like a big bad monster. Not one to fuck around with. I guess you could also imagine some giant souls monster, I guess. That's like 800 million feet taller than you. I wonder who's responsible for polishing it. The rustling of leaves carries no songs of birds, shouts of apes, or whines of hunted critters. The river attacks its banks. With a fierce roar, you get off your palfrey. The cave mouths are connected by paths, stairs, and bridges. You don't see any people, but there's smoke coming from one of the entrances, and you hear muffled thuds of a hammer. The gardens are weeded, the buildings firm. The green trees on the top of the mountain bear red and brown fruits. Two rounded sticks are tied with a rope to a nearby rock. You grab them and take a closer look. They're claves. Well, we all know what time it is. Time for a joke. I play a tune from a silly counting out rhyme. The echo of your hits cut through the swashing stream. Soon, two hooded figures leave a cave mouth at the top of the mountain and give you a quick look from the edge of the cliff, then walk down the path quickly but with caution. It takes them a while to reach the buildings made of bricks, not logs, and covered with tiles instead of thatch. Little by little, the bridge gets looser, then it hits the grass gently. The shorter figure stays in the shadow while the taller one steps outside. This is a place of reflection and prayer, traveler. The man's voice is hoarse but sonorous. The echo gives it an eerie sound. Yea. He hesitates, but then points at you with his bandaged hand. Thou shalt show the due reverence. All right, sorry. He lowers his hand. You're at Right Haven, come. He turns around and returns to his companion. You lead danger inside. The greeters take off their hoods. They wear brown, dark and simple worn robes and ropes instead of belts. They've no jewelry or ornaments, just small bags made of fabric on their shoulders. The larger shell belongs to a strong barefoot man in his 50s. Despite having no weapons, his eyes are audacious and could belong to a muscle standing in the door of a harbor tavern. His wrinkles are subtle, but there are only a few tufts of gray hair left on his greasy head. His skin is pale, covered with liver spots, though at a closer look you realize a few of them are just stains left by ink. I look at the second monk. The girl is about 14, with unsightly acne on her forehead and a robe that brushes the ground whenever she takes a step. Her black hair is tied into a humble ponytail. She observes your horse curiously, cocking her head to a side, but once she catches your look, she meets your eyes boldly, raising her chin as if to challenge you. Shit. This kid's about to fuck us up. Thy mount is free to help itself with hay and water, and will wait outside. Ye, Thou canst stay here for now, but leave before the night. The plague is nearby, the struggle ahead. While they indeed leave the room, their trust only goes so far. They observe you through the open door. The building is a single storeroom filled with crates and barrels, a stack of firewood and another one of bricks, a pile of straw, a chest, 2 wheelbarrows, and finally the racks, shelves, tools, clothings, and utensils. The light comes from the open gates, accompanied by the sharp draft. I tether Danger near the water trough and join the monks. The lack of walls makes you feel exposed. A few pairs of eyes observe you from the paths above you, while others either climb to the very top or approach the unremarkable vegetable beds. Most of the dwellers wear hoods, and all of them wear similar worn robes. A chilling wind touches your neck. I'm not afraid of some wind. They keep their distance. The man greets you by raising his open palm, wrapped with bandages that disappear underneath his sleeve. His lips form something between a sneer and a smile. What brings thee here? Art thou a go-between? The girl keeps an eye on your axe and occasionally glances at your boot, the one that hides the knife. I'm Vertigo, the new Roadwarden / comedian. This place is odd. Yeah, I wonder if we're getting if we're finally getting to the necromancy pagan kind of thing. I don't know. All right, good. Well, the roads need their wardens. The folks need their roads. But there are none behind this mountain, and we take care of the one that you've just crossed. Thou dost not need to bother. Thy services are not required. He gestures for you to wait. But where's the man with the red beard? There isn't enough work here for the 2 of you. Asterion, I was hoping to find him here. I'm sorry to disappoint thee. He rubs a liver spot on his hand. But he hasn't been here in months. We rarely have visitors different than our friends from Old Pagos. Let's see. We don't invite the outside world, and we don't care much for it. Hast thou checked in the Pelt of the North on the southern road? If he's wounded, it's a safe shelter, I've heard. The girl scratches the ground with her boot, though it remains hidden underneath her robe. The man looks at her with amusement. Looks like Decima here is eager to return to her duties. I am Ailey, but I'll not shake thy hand. One of us could carry the plague in our flesh. Who can know, who can tell, what brings thee to our monastery? All right. Then again, like, I feel like Old Pagos might also be, like, pagan-y too, but we can't get in there yet. But both of them may be, actually. Maybe Pagos is the pagans, and maybe these are the necromancers. I don't know. But I guess before we do our usual super freaking long dialogue with these guys, I am probably going to sadly call it there for the evening. I'm happy I did start a little earlier, but I feel like I'm struggling a little bit with my voice. This game is killing me. I know I don't have to, but I don't know. It's kind of fun for me to do these dumb voices for these characters. But I think I need to rest that up a bit. I'm really kind of feeling it in there. Plus, I eventually want to go to sleep. I want to get some sleep. But yeah, I think we've made some progress. We did, like, I don't know, we turned in 1 or 2 little side quests. We got even more side quests. We've done more exploring. We helped that hunter guy, and which unlocked a new town for us. And now we're getting into this area. Still have no idea where we're gonna find Asterion, living or dead. Who knows? I'm also curious about if we can eventually get this wooden lamp from that dude, the carpenter dude, because now I'm intrigued by that tunnel system, which supposedly has dark magic going on inside of it. But we'll find out next time. And I think it'll this time it'll just be like a couple of days, so it shouldn't be too long. Like previous times have unfortunately gone. Cool, that was fun. See you next time. No problem. Thanks for hanging out, and thanks for everybody who hung out or lurked or whatever, or will watch the VOD when I upload it to YouTube in 300 months. I'm still working on the Visage ones, so we're a bit behind. But I do have a couple of those YouTube shorts from this game on there, because those are a lot quicker to do. Let's see. I'm gonna find someone to raid real quick who is on. I don't think a lot of. Yeah, it's Sunday night. I think we'll probably just raid over to Nocturnal Hannah again. Very fun streamer. She is playing Final Fantasy Tactics for the very first time, so that should be a fun little watch there. All right, but yeah, hope everybody has a good night or day or whatever time it is where you're at in the world. And yep, we'll raid out once I throw the ending screen on. But yeah, it's too bad that our jokes can't really be clipped into a short. The humor would not come across. I did one of them, which the algorithm did not pick up at all. No shock there. No shock there. Nobody liked it. Oh yeah, I guess you just need the context of like just everything to be able to get why why we think it's funny. All right. Anyways, have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next time, hopefully in just a couple of days. See you then. Bye, everybody.